what at least I said before coming into this game. But tea time, you know what? You've got to stick with your prediction now. You've got to stay by your word.
Oh no, I'm sticking with it.
You know, stick it full force.
Our friends at Lootbet and I, we've had a very feisty relationship throughout the Malta vibes. I disagree with them a lot. It doesn't turn out very well for me. They're smarter than I am. What can I say? That's just Lootbet for you. But hey, GAMERLEGION, they've got themselves 2 sets of utility, smoke on Messi and Rusty, and a flashbang apiece as well with the P250s. So I'm more excited than anything else to see what the P250 is going to be looking for. Corey's already found one. That's Adam to fall in the back of Brown Halls, and Ivy will be put under pressure.
It's really nice to put that opening frag on the board. GAMERLEGION encroaching closer with Era being that main point man. He's got the P250, fast one-tap potential, but unable to connect onto the Flav shots. Leaves this just down to 70 seconds, and GAMERLEGION haven't fully committed towards this A-bomb site right now. Of course, that C4 back in the open with Era going down. That cuts away their single point man upon that A-bomb site. Got down to 60.
Now the 3v4 ensues. Badito wanting to get a little bit quick inside those smokes, but Mezzi's careful. Mezzi knows of the possibility of them coming in, but Fliav will perpetually be the ultimate threat as he has hidden himself away next to the dumpsters. Do they realize he's already recovered the bomb? Well, Fliav is going to peek out, find Rusty soon enough, but now he's curious, where's Rusty gone? He will connect with the shot, and there's 30 seconds left, so they can't get over in time. Corey fighting back, beautiful shot in the fadeaway will leave Mezzi in a 1 versus 4 that he's soon to lose.
Unfortunate stuff there for GAMERLEGION. They had good control out towards that A-bomb site in the form of Era. He was able to even find that opening pick, but that was the only success granted by this GAMERLEGION roster. Only 1 frag found. That's not really good enough. No bomb plant puts their economy in the dumpster for this second, where they can't afford anything other than a couple of upgraded pistols. And I can't actually see what they've upgraded to, so I guess that there'd be a P250 or so here and there. Obviously, no sets of Kevlar. And yeah, a very minimalistic buy coming into this one. Pretty much nothing invested all across the boards. And as these nades come in, that preliminary damage has been dealt.
The question is obviously, can you Glock train down and plant the bomb in? That's always the ultimate objective whenever you're on these full Glock rounds. I would have really liked to see a flashbang go with it, but hey, you don't always get what you want, and Flashy is getting what he wants, all right. 2 cute kills with the MP9, some great money, but great money would also be afforded over to GAMERLEGION. Zero who got himself that kill, and the bomb plant will go down, but the job has been done, and GAMERLEGION are happy with it.
They certainly will be, especially keeping 4 of 5 players alive. Obviously, Flashy isn't really expecting to survive there without the support of at least 1 or 2 of his members. He's going to drop, but that's not a lot of utility or economy wasted. There's my alarm. I'm supposed to be waking up right now. And the alarm bells are certainly ringing also for this GAMERLEGION roster. They're 2-0 down, nice and early here, and they'll get the rifle sight for the first time.
I mean, I don't know if I'd call that an alarm bell for the GAMERLEGIon roster, but hey, it's all right.
Cancel alarms.
Budapest 5, they 2 MP9 still kept forward. Torzy not upgrading to the AWP over here. It will be Era to find the first one. Corey's already down, and when the first man down is your big star player, that is worrying. Now, nades will follow through, some flashes as well, but they need to regress forward and reclaim some hope. Torzy's found Rusty, and with that, Adam's been put at bay while Fliav comes in behind to take down Zero. Era needs to fight back. The AWP found the opening, but it needs to do so much more. Adam is the one picking things up before his body is dropped. Era will follow suit, and Mezzi left in a 1v3 doesn't have much to do here.
He's locked right inside of the A main. That headshot gives him a little bit of equity onto this A bomb site, but he has to connect for double trouble here. If Badito drops, I would say Mezzi might even be favored considering Torzy's on just 21 points of health. Nevertheless, the crossfire established by the CT side really is a bit of a problem maker here for this final terrorist push. The Molotov isn't really going to get all too much done. Just a bit of initial damage being piped in, and well, there come both of the shots. Torzy now last alive, only 21 points of health. He needs to get back to the safe space of that A bomb site because Messi almost connects the 1 versus 3, unable to do so.
The stones on that man to take the peak when he's only got 21 HP just moves back to where his teammate dies, watches his corpse on the ground, kisses his forehead and says, I will avenge you. And he does. That's a good teammate right there. Budapest 5 up 3, GAMERLEGION losing the anti-bonus round where Budapest 5 had the 2 MP9s and they had the opening pick. This could be a sign of worrying things to come if they're only going to be relying on defaulting. Of course, it's been literally one gun round, so there's not much to go off of. But primarily defaulting against a team that's as frag heavy as Budapest 5 can be incredibly deadly.
Yeah, especially against them on the CT side of a pretty defensive heavy map such as this. It's obviously just the pistols for GAMERLEGION here in this fourth. Not much investment, just the half buy. Flave trying to get lucky through that smoke. Doesn't connect this time.
I like the Fleavs backing off. I really don't like the double op coming in when you know there's going to be a force buy or a half buy on the other side, but I do like the Fleav backs off over there and is willing to give up Ivy, but unfortunately when the smoke comes in, now he knows he needs to defend for 1.6. Badito in the meanwhile's got a spray on 3. Beautiful stuff from him, and Flashy has somehow found the back of Adam's head and he is crashing it away. Rusty last to fall, last to show up, and not a single casualty on the Budapest 5 side, which is obviously all the more important when you keep in mind that they have a double off purchase. So great stuff from them, not losing a single man.
Yeah, perfect. That's a good way to bolster your bank on this CT side, which is pretty much your sub goal here. Just trying to build those investments, get back-to-back buys in hand. You can see they have a little bit of reserve cash in their back pocket. Flave being the poorest player with only $2,000. But realistically, this should be enough to get a buy, obviously into this 5th, but also into the 6th if they lose it. That causes obviously another layer of trouble for GAMERLEGION, where they have to win 2 rounds in a row instead of 1 to break this buy and secure a freebie. Obviously, they can do that in a different fashion, doing heavy damage into this one and then winning the next. But obviously on the T side of a map like Train, it's really hard to break this sort of an investment unless Budapest 5 make a couple of mistakes.
Oh. Flashy's got barely any HP left, man. But that's the difference maker. It's invisible damage as well, so they can't really know how much they've actually worked him down. So hitting this B bomb site, they still need to be so incredibly careful about what exactly is in the cards. Corey, great off angle to be held for Lowway, waiting for the push to come through. He'll be taking first point, gets the first, and now it's all up to Flashy to come through once he's been given a distraction. Era trying to fight back. Mezzi and Era, the only ones left alive, getting one for Mezzi, but something tells me this is not going to be like the 1v3. Not too many chances to come alive for Mezzi, especially when Era falls, and with that, it should be a gone round. Can he get that first kill? No. Fleav just finishes it off.
A very convincing round for B5 once again. Obviously, the rotates through to the B site were incredibly prompt. We don't see any attempt at the fake from GAMERLEGION. They don't put any smokes towards Connector, that A-bomb site, to maybe lock one of the rotators over towards that side of the map. A lot of the time, just a smoke through window onto the A side of Connector is enough to at least lock one player towards the pointy letter, considering it's a lot harder to make that retake happen when you're all 5 stuck towards B. This time, maybe a faster running gun approach with Zero taking the initial peek, but doesn't want to get too frisky without his teammates here. He knows that this is a double AWP setup. And while B5 are just watching and waiting for these angles, Flav up towards Heaven already has a massive vantage point, and that actually allows Flashy to go aggressive. That adds insult to injury here for the T side, as they might have found that first frag, but they're being pressured by multiple angles.
Oh. Great shot from Rusty, though, to take down Corey initially. And again, this is where things get tricky. You lose your star player. You've got 2 AWPs. If you don't stop them initially, which is what Tarzi is doing, you're going to be in for some trouble. Tarzi looking for more, but he can't quite connect. Instead, he flicks, and he's got that one any day of the week. Mezzi to fall, Rusty to trade. Still a 2v2, and Rusty's got an AWP, so Fleav's got to be careful. Rusty trying to get fancy on the ladder, and he'll get his teammate an assist, but Adam, left alone with 24 HP, is about to find Flashy in the back of his head, and Flashy sees that barrel, so he knows he should be able to get this kill easily. The question is, With that AK now picked up, can Adam pre-fire this? Adam's not even checking it. Flash you with a favorable position will finish things off. It gets close, it gets dicey, but at the end of the day, Budapest 5 are up 6 rounds.
That's unfortunate for Adam. As soon as he gets spotted, there's pretty much no chance in that 6th round, and Budapest keep the flawless scoreline rolling. GAMERLEGION having an absolute stinker on both T sides thus far today. Remember, they just had a really just flawed, holy T side over on Nuke against Apex. Maybe you're expecting that, but up against B5, I'd certainly be wanting a little more here. Up against the AKs, they get completely crushed right out of A main. It's Torsi's AWP to pipe in with the majority of the damage. And again, the rotates are here. Already pressure being applied from the back. GAMERLEGION being stuck in the mud, but a couple of frags as a response.
Well, now the question is, Flashy, who's been delayed in Pop Dog and is going to be making his way over, what can he do? Fleeve shouldn't be taking first point of contact. He's got the AWP, and there's a minute and 15 left for the T's to work with. That's the advantage of playing such a screamy, early push-centric style. And let's not forget, you did just lose a lot of weapons before, so if Budapest 5 lose this, their money is not really in a great place. Meanwhile, the terrorist side, they're looking to rotate all the way over towards that B-bomb side, potentially. Fleeve, he's just scoped in, trying to find out if they're making their way over, and he will get the call and make the call. So GAMERLEGION, now they're going to be stuck in between a rock and a hard place as they try to make their way back onto the site. That Molotov will help, but Fleeve's got himself a smoke. That's poorly placed, however, and it'll just be giving them some space to get back into it. Fleeve moves forward. The AUG is taken down. He's in a 1v2 and doesn't realize where Messi is. GAMERLEGION, despite losing a lot of players early on, can bring it back off the back of the 2 UK boys.
That's a really painful round for B5. There are 2 versus 5 won by GAMERLEGION. We've seen a lot of those clutch scenarios come a bit precariously close as of now. And, well, that's GAMERLEGION's first on the board. Now an opportunity to go for the potential reset. I said they had to do economical damage in the last couple of rounds to force up a bit of an eco in this scenario. I think they've got to take one more over the top to actually force that economy to practically 0. I think Petito's also got a certain rifle on the floor. This really does suck for Budapest 5 if they lose it. I think it'll be down to 6-3.
You know what doesn't suck, Squid? Hellcase doesn't suck because they're the biggest and most known case opening website with almost 100 cases, Squid. They have updated case battles, Squid. They have upgraders. They have dozens of giveaways per month, Squid, and more absolutely unique features, Squid.
You won't get bored with 100 cases. That's a lot of cases.
That's a lot of cases.
That's
more cases than Counter-Strike has, if I'm not wrong. So use promo codes to save more and grab what you deserve. Exactly. Hellcase literally better than Valve.
Well, 6-1. I want a shot at casting the majors one day, hopefully. Era obviously pipes in with that first.
And Flea after fall is a very important kill to find. Corey and Torzi are not going to be afforded a better fate at all. So 2 versus 5. Somehow the guns we have left are the Deagle and the MP9. I know how this goes, but am I willing to say it? Are you willing to say it? Of course I'm willing to say it. Budapest 5 throwing away a round which was difficult to start with, but this was the kind of round where GAMERLEGION and their style of play would have always come into fruition. GAMERLEGION's going for these incredibly aggressive early duels-based rounds, and so far they haven't really been finding these kills. But when you put it down a Budapest 5 without the utility, without really many of the little doohickeys you need to keep them at bay, then yeah, you're going to get some of those kills. Adam, in the meanwhile, will be able to clean everyone else up. 5 players kept alive for GAMERLEGION, a very successful round.
Yeah, and that's a big change of pace, momentum switching moment for GAMERLEGION. Their second successful round here on their T side, a little late in the game to be throwing these in, but now they finally do get that freebie. I think a full eco from Budapest 5. They definitely can't afford to go for any investment in this one. You see just 0 money spent across their 5 players. Maybe there's an upgraded pistol here and there. I think I might have even saw a 5.7 or perhaps even a Deagle on Flav. Oh, what is that?
Oh, Molly goes in deep towards the back of the bomb train, but the stack won't matter. The stack is really just a good old aim duel, and turns out aim duels are won by AKs, against USPs at least.
Yeah, very confident round. expecting GAMERLEGION to take it to number 3 and absolutely do so. Now they're going to be challenged for the 10th time.
I really don't like this. I really don't like this buy at all. I would have much preferred a half buy in the previous round and a double eco here. Because now, the problem is if you do that and you double eco here, you're 6-5. Now you've got terrible utility. You don't have a single Molotov, so you're relying on getting aggressive. You also don't have the ops to cover your backs, to cover, you know, the little wide swing angle from an AK. So you can't really answer back to the typical aggression that the T side is bringing early on. So now Budapest 5 stylistically, they're kind of just stuck. So unless they just get a big multi-kill or they get a big positioning hurrah, they're probably going to have to save some weapons. And now the question is, are they going to find that?
Yeah, the other issue they have is just a distinct lack of utility on this CT side, which is so important, especially towards A with those choke points. Thankfully, GAMERLEGION are heading elsewhere. And there's the initial trade. Rusty gone. And now GAMERLEGION have to perhaps go to plan B, which might be Site B. Zero strikes in with a headshot of his own. All the smokes are down and clear. And I think you read the book perfectly, T-Time. This was a flimsy buy, to say the least. A risk thrown through for B5 and one that does not pay off.
And the worst part about that is, to me, Corey pushing forward is ridiculous. Because the kill that comes in on the highway is one kill. It's a 1-for-1 trade. The second player is there to know no one's pushing forward. If no one's pushing forward into the B bomb site, they definitely have someone checking their flank. Corey, who's just loudly going up the ladder trying to find someone, He will also be hunted down. He will not be brought down until the second player, but even so. So Corey goes down, and then they don't save. They don't save their remaining two M4s. They still want to circumnavigate them back towards B. And the only time they're looking to save is when Bonito is left completely on his lonesome. So you don't even save the M4s. So now you're not just looking at a difficult 6-5 round or something on those lines. Now you're looking at potentially even a 6-6 where, you know, Budapest 5, I don't know if they can afford the double op at that point.
No, I don't think they can whatsoever. You see the money is definitely shaky at best. I think they're up to... would it be $2,400, $2,900 loss bonus right now? So they will get that full loss bonus in full effect in the next, which means that Bonito, Tulsi, they'll both have 6K. So perhaps enough for the double snipers if they... I don't think that there are any win conditions to actually get those snipers in hand. I think it's just guaranteed at this point if I'm doing my maths right. I know that there are a couple of rules of broadcast, T-Time.
That's the problem.
Yeah, there are a couple of rules of broadcast. You're not allowed to work with animals, kids, or do maths.
And Counter-Strike's already broken 2 of those at the very least. We have the chicken in the London
whole
major, and, you know, we're kids right here, so there you go. And we're doing maths, so, oh well. No wonder we're not a real sport.
Oh, man. Yeah,
now,
we throw the whole rule book over shoulder.
Indeed. Corey, though, wants to throw a couple of these T-side bodies over his shoulder and walk off with them as a trophy. So the question is, what kind of head is he finding? Now, Corey on the Deagle is a deadly, deadly beast. It's not one you want to find in the wild, but with 40 seconds left, GAMERLEGION may not have a choice but to traverse his territory. They're really slowing things down here. So far, they've gone for very aggressive, fast-paced rounds. Corey, however, now he'll have a chance, maybe, as they're bringing in the train, but the train ducks under his aim, and now it's all down to Pliab. His own Deagle can't find anything either. Torzi is playing with the Pocket Deagle. He's playing with the Pocket Deagle. That's not going to do anything. The P250 in that angle. There's no chance of him getting anything.
Now, complete wipeout again from GAMERLEGION. This will get them up to that aforementioned 5. We did say that, obviously, losing that previous buy B5, it would likely not just be these 4 rounds, but even more here. Now the opportunity for GAMERLEGION to secure a very substantial half. The Steagle just trying to pitch through for a little bit of damage, but I think inevitably Bonito will just save. And we'll actually now start to theory craft what this buy is actually going to look like for the Budapest 5 side.
Pretty bad.
I actually do think it's going to be fairly decent. Obviously,
they don't have any
Corey
Molotovs.
has
I think they have $1,300.
Yeah, I think that's been the problem the majority of the time for Budapest 5 is they've been a little bit strapped for utility. Those smokes, those mollies, they haven't always been firing on all cylinders, and well, I'm sure that we'll find out now. You see, Tulsi doesn't have enough for the incendiary grenade. Corey decides not to buy an incendiary. Flashy does have one, and so only 2 incendiaries for this CT side, and a single sniper.
And those 2 are there because they don't go for the double up. You're right. So this is really touchy because Budapest 5, a lot of their success so far, Squid, has been off of the back of the double up.
I think a lot of CT sides decide to resort back to this setup, and with their only sniper taken out of commission, that's going to create real problems.
Molotov goes through to clear out some angles. GAMERLEGION have slowed things down. I like this decision from them. And Flashy, he's not had the best of games towards that B-bomb site so far. Has been overrun a couple of times here and there. So I honestly wouldn't mind him rotating back towards A and just stacking this and trying to save otherwise. Now bo3 is going to have some action coming his way. Will be distracted by the bullets. Moves back, but finds a kill through the smoke. Backs off from the flames, and Corey comes in with one of his own. The advantage has been gained, but how long will it stay? Corey guarantees it for a little bit while longer. He will sacrifice himself for another kill. Flea have left Era alone, and Era is now in a 1v3. Can he bring this back?
He needs the ace to get the job done, and there's a free fade away. Oh, and in seconds, what a wallbang! Era was able to find a sensational ace earlier on, nuke against Akez, and once again might be able to get the job done. 25 seconds on the board. Flashy has his number in terms of positional advantage, all the way out in the open. But this deadly trio might be about to fall. Era's running out of time, and what a shot! Great 90-degree flick, Flashy gone, and that's them up to 6-6.
Ungodly from Era. Ungodly. He opens up the round with a kill on Torzi, and we're talking about how important that is. Then he follows up with just a sheer domination. And right there, you know what? That might have been a kill if that was an M4 instead of the AUG. And I actually think the AUG is very good in certain angles, but it's just one of those things where you go back and you scratch your head and you wonder what if, because a 1v5 practically given away to him after his teammates were falling in those positions. And now bo3 will take down Era early on. So at the very least, the big bad wolf is gone, but his little buddies are still around. And Budapest 5, their weaponry is incredibly weak.
Incredibly so. I would say still a slight advantage for GAMERLEGION here in this 13th, considering they do have the 4 AK-47s in hand, and Torsi doesn't have the body armor to work with. This is a pretty scrappy buy from B5, just the half buy, obviously wanting the full investment into rounds number 14 and preferably 15 as well. Bit of a slow start here, creating a stalemate on the GAMERLEGION side as they try and creep and crawl their way into this scout.
Oh, that's a good shot to find. bo3 might have actually found the kill otherwise, if not for the good old aim punch. It does suck when it happens to your head after you've got Kevlar as well. As a CT side, you think, yes, I've made the responsible economical decision. I've not bought head armor. There's no point of it. And there you go. I just got donked in the head and I missed my shot because of it. Flashy will be creeping forward with the CZ. His teammates are already falling and the smoke is affording them quite a bit of cover. And they emerge right out of it to take him down as well. This round's not got much left in it, but Torzi will at least try and make it work. Corey as well chimes in with one, and now it's a 2v2 where he's trying to do more, but it's all on bo3 and he's found the bomb. 9 HP left and 4 seconds. There's no time to plant, and Adam, he just can't get it done. Somehow or the other, bo3 brings it all back, and there you have it.
That is another robbed round, this time from B5. GAMERLEGION slammed a couple of nails into the coffin in the previous and prior with that, again, an ace from Era, his second of the day, but blasted right back. Obviously, no mindset problems here on the Budapest 5 CT half. They get the double AWP set up back into commission. You said, T-Time, that this is definitely one of their favorites, and this time they actually do have the utility to work with. Era, a lovely angle, wants to take the sweeping shot. I love that nade. It connects perfectly. Is that actually a team kill? That was a team kill, T-Time.
Hey, we don't talk about those around here.
That is awkward.
we pretend they didn't happen. Because GamerLegion, if this is when you start to get your willies rustled, when you start to maybe get some of your headspace messed with, because there could be some arguments going on in there, that's a terrible, terrible sign of things to come, potentially. Budapest 5 are looking to lock out the 9. It's all down to Torsi and Flashy on this B bomb side. They're not cheating rotations over early, but Torsi's found the first. Flashbang or not, peeking out again, but Flashy denied him the chance of another kill. Rusty's just confused and wondering why he can't find Flashy, but now that Molotov will force them back and take more cover. Mezzi not able to connect with the shots there. 5 versus 2. We've seen one of these go the other way so far. GamerLegion, can they bring it back again? Rusty with a good one, but he's got 4 more to go. And there's not much chance of another ace, but he's bringing it home potentially. 20 seconds. Flashbang is good. It'll force Fliev off the angle. And now Flashy. It's all up to him to defend this drop bomb. Rusty waiting and hoping that the CTs will make a mistake, but the CTs, they've made plenty of those so far, and they don't have any intentions of bringing him anything else.
Oh, trying to change up those angles. Cannot connect with that headshot for the second time. That might be Flav, yeah, connecting with the shot, shutting down any secondary 1 versus 5 potential. I would say that this is an acceptable half for Budapest 5 here. We know how good this GamerLegion defensive half can often be, though. T-side is often to their detriment. This time, Rusty just punching in the numbers, doing so much damage, but with this being the 15th and final round, I don't think it's going to affect the eco too much. You see, they are deprived of a couple of nades here. Corey actually forced back onto a FAMA, so it's not as good as I initially anticipated. And a double AWP for this T side. This is very awkward. We usually say this in Counter-Strike's a bit of a desperation play on the T side. For GamerLegion, I don't think that's the case. I think it's a 15th round. They just want to try something different to maybe get to number 7. And Budapest 5, they're doing the same. Right up ladder, straight towards Rust is behind, and this gets dangerous.
Oh, dangerous is an understatement at this point, because they're now down 3-5. GamerLegion have not been in this situation very often, but for some reason, Flashy is still peeking. I will never know. You know what? I was told that the rules of Counter-Strike say, hey, you're 5v3 up, don't peek again. But hey, there you go. This is ridiculous. It might have actually just thrown the round away there, Squid.
Yeah, that's massively unfortunate. I don't know if Budapest 5 will be scratching their heads over that one. Obviously, they've still got a fairly sturdy defense posted all over this map, and 3 versus 3s usually do favor this T side, especially with Corey only on 17 points of health here, only with a FAMAS in hand as well. So not a lot of punching power in this single man, but with the AWP and the AK still in full force, GamerLegion are going to make the swing, the 3-pronged attack into this A bomb site. Zero is going to be the first to make that peak, and well, Corey does find one for his troubles. That's good enough. Now he needs his teammates to step up. They're left, right, and center. Clock ticking down once again. Connecting. Mezzi has to do it once more. He needs to watch every single angle, and it's just not going to happen. 9-6.
I don't generally use terms like deserve, but I don't know if Budapest 5 deserved that round after you give away a 5v3 down to a 3v3 just for the sake of hunting frags. Now, one man I want to tip my hat to is the same man I shouted out earlier on, Corey, sitting on 12 kills, and a lot of his kills were so incredibly high impact early on. He's been on point in the pistol round. He's been on point in the 4 spies that they had as well. So good stuff from him. But GamerLegion, all of them hovering around that 10 mark. And that's just very strange to see a half in that your entire team is just averaging 10. And our partners over at Lootbed, they've started to come over to the tea time side. But this is where if I was them, I'd be raising an eyebrow, because Budapest 5 are infamously a little bit more shaky, a little bit more flimsy on their terrorist side.
And that's what's so scary about a map like Train as well. If GamerLegion are able to take this pistol here, even with 6 rounds, that will likely close things up at least 8 to 9. A rifle round then closes things up in its entirety. This is, I call these must-win pistol rounds. I think for both teams, this is going to make a massive dent and impact in this first map of the series. Remember, our whole best of 3 awaits, considering this is only the first map of this elimination matchup. You can see, actually, in the other side of the bracket, that game is getting firmly underway. Dignitas Apex. Dignitas taking a good convincing lead in that one as well. So we've got Mirage and Nuke coming up. I think a really good map for this series.
Well, Torzi starts off with a great kill on a 0, and it's all Mezzy all day if he can get these 3 kills, but he's good for 2. Corey, however, will do the same. 3 versus 2 in Budapest 5, back into the pistol round, starting off strong, but Adam and Rusty have got something to say, and that something is a full stop. Torzi left in a 1v2. He's already good for 1, but P250 needs to come in. The long range is good, but he can't come in with the second. Didn't expect Rusty to go for the slow crouch peek forward. And it will be the 7th round on the board for GAMERLEGION.
It does always confuse me ever so slightly why teams like to prefer this A bomb site here. It's commonly much longer angles which favor these USPSs, especially with no smokes in place. Funnily enough, most of these engagements that we see are close quarters combat, should favor the Glocks a lot of the time, and now B5, I said that was a bit of a muscle-win round there. Now they've got to do it the hard way against rifles, a couple of SMGs. Shouldn't be this time, considering they haven't put even in a full force. Corey's going to chip out first with the Deagle. Needs to do a little bit of damage here to open things up, but it's not going to happen. Nice chunk of damage dealt by GAMERLEGION as they take a flawless round.
Dorsey's actually got enough money for the AWP, and I was about to say I'm curious to see whether he goes for it or not, because I can't remember. I think Dorsey's doesn't actually op on their T side. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I
think it's Flav, right?
No, Dorsey's their primary. Flav's their secondary.
Yeah, doesn't Flav take it into his own hands on the T side a lot of the time?
I'm not sure about that. Like I said, I haven't actually casted Budapest 5 much since Flav joined. I think I only casted them once, so I'm excited to see how it goes. Let's see.
Playing a double AWP configuration is always important. You can obviously place it in the hands of the player with the best spawn. Certainly unfortunate start for GAMERLEGION. Obviously, with the inopportune buy, they need to take a couple of risks here. And it doesn't work out this time. That nade doesn't connect either. So GAMERLEGION stuck in a bit of a stalemate once again in a 4 versus 5 scenario. A couple of FAMASes in hand. That MP5 as well, a weapon that we really just don't often see T-time. It's actually pretty terrible. It's more of a water pistol.
It also has really bad running accuracy for some reason, which is really odd. But
that's surprising. In the hands of James Bond, that MP5 connects with headshots just all the time. Running headshots right in the eyes.
Listen, man, James Bond can walk away from a beach without having sand stuck in his privates and still look good.
I mean, I think these guys need lessons from Daniel Craig.
I think we all do, realistically. We're in Counter-Strike. I can guarantee we could all use some lessons from Daniel Craig. But with 30 seconds left, I think GAMERLEGION probably needs some lessons on timekeeping, because right now, Flashy is the only person there. What is going on there? Budapest 5.
They're gone to sleep.
Yeah. This is the strangest round I've ever seen. There's 15 seconds left on the clock. The bomb will be planted, and the CT is saying, all right, we'll just save. I mean, they have to at this point. Please tell me they're not going for the retake.
T-Tom, I really like calling this the double-edged sword for the CT side here. They play a 4-man defense, knowing that they really just don't have great weaponry towards that A-bomb site. If they split 2-2, there's just a 100% chance almost that they're losing this round. So they go for a bit of a risk, a gamble. Budapest 5, they're very fortunate, in fact. They don't have any information towards A or B. Nevertheless, they select the right option. It's just a freebie. But they do allow GAMERLEGION to survive with all 4 of these weapons.
So see, this is where this is a concept that I actually came across when I was coaching a team in like the Asia Minor. It's strong side, weak side. That's what I prefer to go for. This is a full 4-man gamble. When you've got 4 players live on the CT side, what you do is you put 2 of them towards the back of A, 1 of them in connector, and 1 of them very aggressive in B, so that he has a chance to come alive and get 2 kills. The reason why you put 1 of them in connector is because he can actually just throw a flashbang out or just use some utility or even just provide some cover fire, and there's a significantly higher chance of a multi-kill from the B side player in that case. So that way, you've still technically got 3 players on the A side, and you can still have a very good stack going for you. But there's also a chance of just somehow coming alive, or at least, you know, getting some information, getting something or the other, and having a miracle round is really significantly increased while you can still save 3 players. So it's always, it's not something that I would tell all teams to do, but it's definitely something I think was applicable over here. But a minute and a half left on the clock, and now GAMERLEGION, they don't have an op. They have a bit of a weaker buy. They have quite a bit of cash, but that's not what you're looking for.
And that's off the back of that quadruple save. If they win this, they are significantly ahead here. If they lose, they get another gamble in round number 20. It's all down to 0 to try and open things up. And those flashes won't connect, but that bullet certainly will. Corey takes him completely out of the equation. Now from all angles through that smoke. Everybody chipping in for the damage, and Rusty finally shows up to the party. He's got his little hat on. And he finds 2 quick kills, a 2 versus 3. Zero finds it one more time. Just ends proceedings there on the A bomb site. And this is where GAMERLEGION find themselves actually substantially ahead. They've got lots of money in the bank. They can go for a wholesome full investment here in round number 20. And Budapest 5, well, they're back on that losing streak now. They'll get rifles in hand for this one, but this is the last chance saloon before GAMERLEGION's economy starts to barrel out of control.
Unfortunately, Ivy hasn't really been a good sign for Budapest 5 so far. They've not gotten too much done on it yet, but maybe they can change things up just a little bit. And maybe they can try and make something work on the B bomb side, which seems to be their destination. Now, this is where it gets tricky, Squid, because you've got yourself full utility on the CT side, and Adam, well, he's revealed his hand, but not quite what he has behind him. That's the MP5, not very good at defending this particular angle. You've got to be very careful with it, but when the full execute will be coming in, Era's the main man with the damage. He's got the AK, but not the shot. Petito digs him down, and Adam is trying to respond, but is unsuccessful, leaving it all down to Mezzi, as Zero has given him a chance to bring a 1v3 home. However, that chance is not capitalized on, and like I said before, the second they stop going to Ivy, you've got a significantly better chance of taking over a bomb site. Ivy was just too much trouble for them. Now, we do have a bit of a technical timeout coming in. GAMERLEGION. Well, I believe GAMERLEGION have called that. I will check that in a second and let you guys know, because that's just how incredibly good we are about these things. You know what? We've decided we don't want to let you know, because the resume has come in anyway. So there is that. 11-9, Budapest 5 go to the B bomb site. They make it work, and GAMERLEGION just can't do anything about it. And now all those rounds where you were saving, Squid, they don't really matter. Your money's still in the garbage bin because you're CT side.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is one of those key situations, a swing round where now they're forced onto pistols, as you just said. No opportunity really here to get onto 10 and beyond. Budapest 5 doing a great job at hitting the reset switch on this T side. Yeah, doing a great job at getting back into this map. And, well, your prediction doesn't look so silly after all. As of this point, I think GAMERLEGION, they still have a bit of runway to go before they're able to take off in this series.
Silly, Squid?
I thought it was silly.
Squid, I thought we were friends.
I know, but I've got to be honest. My job's to call it as I see it.
Look, man, this talent word is cutthroat. Speaking of cutting throats, Adam just cut the throat of Fliev right open, and that gives them a very, very important advantage, because they could have recovered the AK. Now, they don't know that, because once again, Budapest 5 over to Ivy they go.
Starts to get dangerous if GAMERLEGION can find one more opening pick here. Obviously, the AK-47s get closer, and this corner is not checked. This is a crossfire. Zero's able to find 1, 2, and 3 frags. Adam chipping in as well. This is all falling apart. Just Torzi versus a trio of players. He's only got 30 seconds left to do the job. He needs to find this headshot right here, right now, and GAMERLEGION just giving him not even an inch to work with. Nobody peeking. They're letting him sweat on this bomb site. Yes, he's spotting out shoulders here and there, but walking into all 3 of them in GAMERLEGION, they're back on the board.
The general rule of thumb is that the first person in will not hard clear the close side. That's why the first person going in doesn't check 0. The second person spacing, however, in that situation needs to be that you are basically licking the back of the other person's head. You need to be so close that you swing out almost at the same time and then peek into 0 and you are the one who kills him. So 0 being able to get those kills there is just a sign of poor spacing and poor coordination between the Budapest 5 guys. And again, man, I really wish they'd stop going to Ivy. They haven't been able to break it a single time so far. They've been having so many troubles with it, and once again, you will see them lose to a forest fight.
That's so eloquently put. It perfectly describes what was going wrong for Budapest 5, and maybe a good reason why they'll be unable to take this map. That's definitely one to dig back into when they get to the demos. This should be a very easy sweep away conversion for GAMERLEGION to even up the scoreline once again. Once more, they found themselves in a very favorable position. The bomb, it's been completely mollied off. Vidito just trying to zap somebody out of the server with this Zeus. I've done it a couple of times this week, but I do a great Zeus impression. Well, don't get too excited. It's not great.
The death of the Zeus or like the zap of
the death? The death.
Okay. Wait, don't worry. I've got you. Drum rolling. Go. That's not bad. Wow. I thought you were lying. That's actually quite good.
That came out a little bit better than I anticipated as well. Sometimes it's a bit hit and miss, I'll be honest. It's on the deck.
So is the Zeus, so it's all good. Speaking of hitting and missing, Budito will be hit. And he'll miss his life. There you go.
Unfortunate.
I can't believe that. That is surprisingly good. Wow.
I've got a couple of party tricks, you know. I do. I'll tell you after the broadcast, but like I've got a couple of just great party tricks.
All right. Budapest 5, though. They're hoping this broadcast doesn't end all too soon. They want to bring things back. Technically, it's an 11-11, so it doesn't really matter. Even if they win at this point, the broadcast will end at the exact same time. But hey.
They want to make me earn my money.
Indeed.
Well,
Era.
Pretty identical buy here, right?
Oh. Unfortunately for them, it is going to be Corey to fall to the very last tick of that Molotov. I don't know if someone called it. He's 1 HP, but he will go down. So 4-4, again, favoring the T side, but the CT gamble towards B is coming in, and it is correct because Adams found the first kill. Budito is down, and so is the bomb.
Well, now an opportunity in the retake scenario, a player up, but it's Adam the difference maker on only 4 points of health. Era right over that smoke, able to pick apart Torsi. That levels Budapest 5 down to just the final 2. And with this Galil out in the open, they're somehow connecting with the shots. Rusty trying to get up close in person with the AK, and Flav is low on HP. The Molotov's going to go the wrong way, and what a perfectly timed peek for Flav to secure 12 rounds.
I would be lying if I said I knew what's going on in this game, because
it's a bit mad.
It is a bit mad. It's a lot of situations where the advantage team doesn't really seem to have the advantage, and it's a bit more forgivable when you're the CT side trying to retake from the back of B bomb site into the bomb itself. So it is a bit more difficult in that situation, but even so, Dorsey, no AWP for him. He's just on the scout. He's been relegated to the inferior weaponry, and it doesn't look like GAMERLEGION is a CT side that just lost a round, because they've got themselves a double op, and Adam has $4,000 still in the bank. Not quite sure how.
Yeah, that money has been riding high for some time. Rusty was actually on, I think, 12K before the investment comes through. So he obviously dropped over a lot of rifles here, and now they need to put them to good use. Era doing absolutely that. That's 3 kills of collateral as well with that AWP. And there's another one. Era might be on for his 3rd ace of the day. Here, Flav takes him completely out of commission. That's disappointing. Nevertheless, he gets tagged down. 98 HP gone. He is Dunzo here, T-Time. There is no chance.
Well, you say that, but the AK and the headshots might have something else to say. Rusty will not scout out way out over here. Will be brought down initially. Ops picked up as well. And now you've got yourself a fighting chance, but not much of a fight to be put up. What? Zero didn't notice the... Oh, what is this?
Oh, man.
What?
Man, what is going on? What is this game?
Did we see a replay of that production? I'm not sure if we can actually bring that up. Production might just basically tell me, no, we're not showing that again. That is not worthy of a replay. But
what do we want him to replay? That was so
everything?
chaotic.
Like, can they just
Just the
replay
whole
so the
round?
teams just don't do that? But look at this
Look
though.
at this
Zero
Molotov.
doesn't realize where the
Oh,
T
this
side
is
player
painful.
is. And okay.
That is a really painful mistake there, especially at such a crunch point of this second half, allowing GAMERLEGION again onto 12. I don't think that there was much equity in the 1 versus 3 on just 2 points of health, but nevertheless, it's always a little bit of a heartbreaker to lose a round in that sort of a fashion.
Well, hearts have been broken, and so has money. Budapest 5 now strapped for cash, and I'm really not enjoying this T-side roleplay of the CT side economy. Rusty, in the meanwhile, he's shutting behind E-Box. He's just waiting for some eco frags to come his way, and sure as hell they will if Era lets him have any. Corey downed early on. Era, like you said, fantastic day for him so far, while Messi will decapitate Filiav. And GAMERLEGION, they're just fighting back, but Era and Zero will make quick work of Budapest 5, and there you have it.
You see the re-emergence of this Zeus. I think it's time for you to do a Zeus impression, T-Time. Do you want a drum roll as well? Do you want the pressure?
Sorry, which Zeus are we talking about?
Oh no, that is so bad.
Hey, I'm just saying.
I didn't show up for this T-Time, but I didn't show up for this.
Listen. Whenever I have a Zeus in my hand, I am very much cosplaying the Greek god of lightning. That's just what I'm doing. Now, where is that cow? Now, Badito will be going down right there. Rusty to take his life away, and with that, it will be the 13th round for GAMERLEGION.
13th Legion?
It is.
Fine.
It is.
That is a proper Roman army term, I think.
Indeed. There you go. We went Greek. We're going Roman. We're very educational on the Malta Vibe stream.
I know. We go through a whole tour of history. I did history for at least my GCSEs. I should have done it for A-level, I think. I would have loved a little bit of history A-level. The thing about history GCSE in the UK is you only do really just not fun areas of history. You do. I guess I like World War II.
I think we're going to go back to the game because that's what this war is all about. Budapest 5, hoping that these Galils can deliver them a quick victory. GAMERLEGION is very much propped up by the fact that both Era and Zero have 20 kills apiece going into this. Very, very good performance from both of the players that we brought up earlier on in the pre-show as well. So, good stuff to see. Budapest 5 in the meanwhile, they are just going to try and respond, maybe with a quick kill down into Pop Dog.
Seeing that Zeus in hand instead of Rusty's M4 is incredibly disconcerting here. Obviously,
the god of lightning takes precedent over all.
Awkward scenario, and just a slow stance.
Oh, gotta be careful though, because we've seen quite a few of these B hits have some success. Now, when they walk in, it's all about taking down Adam, but Adam's found the first kill. He doesn't realize there's a man behind. Era's trying to use his death as a distraction while he finds himself his 21st kill. So actually, Corey and Torsey now in a 3v4. Not very much utility to work off of. The singular flash that was there has been used, and now it's all about Zero coming in on the flank to enable the CTs to go for the pincer.
This is a tough, tricky, again, change of pace situation. The Galil doesn't punch in with the damage, and GAMERLEGION creep closer once again. That bomb is fairly far ticked. They've got to hurry up now with Rusty right on top of the action. Both T's get choked inside. That's 14 for GAMERLEGION, as our favorites in this series get the job done once again, and it's all down to this CT side. They were able actually to take a successful sixth, but I mean, this CT side's been great.
not our favorites, your favorites. I'm not one to change. I'm not one to change my prediction. I think Budapest 5 is still going to win this best of 3 overall. But let's wait and find out. GAMERLEGION. Oh, absolutely. Okay. GAMERLEGION has put up a very convincing reason for me to change my mind, though. But if I was a man of logic, I'd probably be doing a lot better in my life than I am. Torzi, however, not doing too well for himself either. He's only got a scout again.
And this is a situation where Budapest 5 pretty much had to buy, otherwise they were allowing GAMERLEGION on to 15 and taking 3 in a row. I just can't see it happening here. Rusty again punching in that initial damage with the smokes dropped. B5 just cannot aggress. And this defensive setup just looks perfectly poised to deal with what Budapest 5 are going to slam into this side. Tanira again! That's his second collateral, not quite back to back. But he has slammed in the digits on this server.
So, what's the next map again?
It's Inferno, I think. Is it?
No, it's Mirage. It's Mirage.
Oh, it's Mirage.
Budapest 5. Yes.
You put me under pressure.
But, hey, listen. I'm just pointing out that we've got a very clear destination coming up very soon if Ara keeps playing like that. Look at those two beautiful kills. He is very much lighting up the world and the scoreboard with the AWP. 15 to 12, and I'm getting worried for Mirage if he is performing like that as well. Badito relegated to a Deagle. Corey has decided to wield the scout for himself this time around, and Budapest 5 not really seeing any star performances really chime in from them right now.
Yeah, the money is falling on deaf ears, and Rusty might have just slammed in this victory for GAMERLEGION. Torsi doing his best. Still a slight deficit as he takes a lot of damage, and the AWP is still poised. Flick up misses by a whisker, but Era, he is still going. And what a lightning fast shot onto Flav. Era is still going here. He's been the man of the match thus far today. Even in that losing game, I would have given him the MVP. Nevertheless, it's Corey versus 3. I don't know if he's able to get the job done here. He's between a rock and a hard place on this A-bomb site, and Era fittingly finishes it right out of the server. What a startling map for GAMERLEGION.
Oh yeah, I think they absolutely shredded any hopes that they had left on the side of the Budapest 5 boys, and I'm particularly disappointed that Corey wasn't able to transition his success in the first half through to the second. He ended up on 12 kills. It may not seem like too much when you've got 15 rounds, but it's still a solid base to build off of. In the second half, he ends up on 18, just 6 kills across what I believe was about 12 or so rounds, obviously slowing down a fair bit. It's hard to entry in onto bomb sites when you've got Era on the other side with the AWP though, so how much can you really blame him, Squid?
I can't blame him all too much. I think that that's a team performance. We noticed a couple of spacing issues, you said, on that T side, failing to refrag, and that's going to be a big problem when you're playing against a team of the caliber of GAMERLEGION. They're able to just take it right over the top, and yeah, what a sensational opening map to start things off. Here are a couple of the statistics showing up here from those MVPs, and Era is the man to talk about. An ace, a massive quad kill, able to do a lion's share of the damage for GAMERLEGION. I almost feel like Budapest 5 would be 1-0 up if it wasn't for Era right now.
Well, we'll have to find out whether Era can continue that performance forward. We'll be back in just a bit with Mirage, so stay tuned, stick around, and you can see how map 2 will go. Welcome back to Malta Vibes, brought to you by Gaming Malta, a home of gaming excellence. Now, we might not be gaming excellence right here for you on the screen, but you know who is GAMERLEGION versus Budapest 5, because those two teams took it the distance on train. Looked very interesting. Budapest 5, unfortunately, a little bit flimsier on the T side, but now it's time for their own map pick. It's time for Mirage. What are you thinking about this, Squid?
I do think this one is a little bit up in the air. I think it all determines on how good that GAMERLEGION T side is. Sometimes they can sometimes fall flat on that opening half. Obviously, if one team picks the map, a lot of tournaments, the opponents pick the sides. We get a lot of knife rounds here in this tournament. I think we actually do see a knife round take place even in these best of threes. So that's a bit of a coin flip, right? Where GAMERLEGION will start, and that will determine if they can gain the momentum that they need in this series. I think that they do need to carry on that momentum from the first map. They seem to be a very confidence-driven team, like many of the teams that we see at this sort of tier of play, higher and lower. GAMERLEGION do seem to fall that same fate. We saw them lose 11 in a row against Apex earlier. Obviously, getting back into this elimination match with one map up here. Unfortunately for Budapest 5, they need to win now 2 on the trot to take this back.
Well, for Budapest 5, I think what's more worrying is when you say momentum, I'm not thinking momentum for the team. I'm thinking momentum for Era. Because if you guys didn't tune in for the first game, Era had a pretty good time from what I hear. A couple of collaterals in there, an ace comes in here and there. You know, I feel like it's a good performance for an AWPer. So if he comes alive, he's had 3 aces so far, you said?
He's had 2 aces and a quad kill thus far. Like, startling.
It's just one of those days where it feels like you woke up and suddenly any higher power has blessed you with the right hand of simple and the left hand of electronic. So it just seems like it's all working out for you. And that's exactly what's going on for him. His positioning is fantastic. He's really exploiting the T side especially. Now, what I'm more excited to see, though, is Budapest 5 had a very flimsy, very basic T side on their train. There wasn't really much tactical depth to it. It really did seem like it was either, okay, do we hit Ivy or do we hit B? And either way, they were kind of just getting clapped in the middle right there. So unfortunately, things not entirely working out for them so much. But I know their Mirage has a lot more tactical depth. And this is actually a map where, again, with their previous lineup, one player was different. I think instead of Fleab, they had someone whose name just escapes me. It might have been Aaron. But hey, they actually beat out Complexity on a map of Mirage as well. So they've definitely got some big jumps to them, and that could be something that GAMERLEGION has to watch out for.
Yeah, it's that consistency that I think starts to bite B5. They've obviously got that skill ceiling that we've seen multiple times throughout even these Multivibes tournaments and a lot of the online scene as well, where sometimes they can show up. When you actually dig your teeth into the statistics, they have a lot of maps under their belt. I think 15 maps played. That was their 16th on train just there. Horrendous win rate. So I hope the Mirage is going to be a little bit better.
Well, I think their Mirage win rate at least is just a little bit better. If you look over towards their statistics, like you said, it's 50-50, but you also have to keep in mind that for teams like Budapest 5, who are very regularly facing off against opposition that's just better than them by a significant margin in cups like the 9-5 and cups like the Malta Vibes that are going on, you'll end up facing off someone like, you know, a Gambit youngster, someone like a Forza, even sometimes someone like a Complexity to come in to the entire mix. So you're not supposed to win against them. Yes, if you win, that's great, that's fantastic, but they're literally 70 ranks above you in the rankings. So you can kind of excuse them for having a bit of a border win rate on a map like Mirage, which so many different people play. We're going to head into it, though, and remember, where I say you can excuse them losing to someone 70 ranks above them, GAMERLEGION is technically 30 ranks above them, but of course, in the top 60 to top 90, there's not that much of a disparity. So let's see how things go, let's see how things shape out, and let's see what they can get done.
I think within that sort of tier of CS, you're talking the HLTV, like I would say 40 to 50 to the 90 below. It's the consistency that it's an issue.
Yes.
It's that problem with closing out series time after time against a variety of teams and styles. That seems to be what the best teams in the world are able to routinely achieve, whereas these other teams maybe can't put together that consistency. That's the big factor, the X factor.
Yeah, and you know that's exactly what happens all across the entire rankings, regardless of the rankings. You know, it's a top 5 is different at top 10, top 10 is different at top 20, top 20 is different at top 30, top 30 is then different at top 50, top 50 is different at top 100. You know, that's kind of what you're looking at. So obviously, a lot of these teams would still be lumped into the same tier 2, tier 3 bracket, but they've always got some sort of performances that can magically spring out and slap any expectations you had of them silly. So let's see which team will be doing that. So far, GamerLegion has impressed. The question is, can they continue? And you know what? Our boys over at Loopbed definitely think they can. They did predict against me before, and I feel like they do have probably a little bit more of an idea how this one will go as well. GamerLegion, a 172 to 205. I think, you know what? I think that's probably fair after the performance we just saw from them. Rusty smokes himself off, will be brought down initially, but Dito just rushed down B. They really like to do this, but in the meanwhile, they've also been dinked up. Unfortunately, dinks don't mean kills, and the kills are going the way of the T side. A 3 versus 2, as Mezzy and Adam are left to try and struggle. A 3v4, actually, as Mezzy and Adam left trying to struggle their way out of this.
This definitely gets a little touch and go for the CT. So running out of players, running out of HP, and with Adam gone too, Mezzy has to connect everything, and there are just too many players to deal with on the defense there in the after plant. Unfortunate for him, but GamerLegion, they do slip 0-1 down. They might even go for a force buy here in the second round. A lot of the time on that CT side, you do see the pistols, the SMGs come into play here for this second before you jump and leap into the action fully through.
Well, the problem with Mirage and Force Buys is that the CTs can actually have quite a few points of aggression where they can completely take control with an MP9 or a Scout, so this buy is actually deceptively strong on the GamerLegion side, and it's incredibly important for Budapest 5 not to be hit by that Scout as they're crossing over. Now Corey does get tagged, and Mezzy will finish off Tarzi as well. Zero with the MP9 is there to clean up house, and it's a 3 versus 1 as Rusty as well brings a kill in. Fliav left alone, and he will fall, and that's exactly the threat I was talking about. I'm so glad I pointed that out. I seem so much smarter than I am. One step closer for GamerLegion.
One to one on the board, and that is a great change of pace here for that CT side, of course. They get rifles back in hand here, a fairly flawless buy as well. You see they're deprived of ever so slightly a bit of utility, but with B5, again forced to go for this aggressive buy into round number 3. This is definitely a more difficult round, and I think even unable to get the bomb down in a way here. Yeah, it's all out in the open. And GamerLegion, with a very successful performance, keeps 3 of those favorable rifles alive in hand. And that is a real rough way to start for B5, especially being a map down.
Map down, pistol round up, force buy round lost, and then after that, GamerLegion are just going to be walking away with quite a big W on the back of their shoulders off these past few rounds. They should have this one for free, after which if Budapest 5 don't get themselves the bomb plant in, well, actually they might get the bomb plant. You've got a very heavy mid focus, and a waterfall strategy will be coming over Adam's way. Adam will be good for 1, 2, and 3, so money in the bank for him. And it seems like that bomb will not be planted after all. A nade to follow through too, and it will be 4 SMG kills across the board for GamerLegion in that round.
Very flawless as well, banking all of that cash with the MP9 of all weapons. The trades just come a little too late, and not a round that they're necessarily expecting to win. With GamerLegion now being 3-1 up, this is where they can exert some dominance on their CT side. Of course, they've got, I would say, a slightly favorable buy having that AWP. That MP5 could be the difference maker, though, in the hands of Adam. It's definitely unfortunate to carry through an SMG this deep into the half. Nevertheless, he doesn't want to waste any extra bank. Obviously, that would be $3,100 down the toilet if he goes to the M4A4, and instead it's the burst into B.
Era is waiting for them to creep across. He will miss his chance, and now the bomb is planted. So, is a retake on? It seems like it shouldn't be, with Rusty falling as well. This could be a call for the CTs to save, and I wouldn't mind that whatsoever, but Era, he might still be feeling a bit feisty. If he can go for the jump to short, that would give them a small chance in this round, but Adam's pathing so far is perfect. He is dodging any sort of aggression that could come his way. Seems like Adam just wants to go for some exits, though. He's got the SMG, so you can't really blame him for that one. All in all, very good round for Budapest 5 to bring back, but CTs will have a bye. Okay. What? I don't know why. You know what? I'm not quite sure why the knife was pulled out there, but hey, that's there too.
Really awkward situations, just the majority of the time as well. And well, with this one resorting to 3-2, we've actually got a bit of a scrappy start, all things considered. We get the pause. I think this might even be, well, it's definitely a technical pause with a member of B5 dropping out. But this is where things start to get interesting, right? It's that scrappy first couple of rounds on both of your sides where you're trying to vie for that initial economy. You're obviously trying to build up that bank and get off to a good stead. If you get that lead, that 4-5 round lead over your opponents, then that obviously gives you a good advantage going into the second half. Here's where we see the change of pace, though, from GAMERLEGION. A double AWP setup. This is where they should be at their most comfortable. They've also got that triplet of M4A4s as well, just to bolster up the setup. Here, this is a very key swing round time.
This is the big one. CTs will not be completely broken. Era and Zero have themselves a bye, but this is the place where Budapest 5 could have their hopes and dreams come down to shambles. So, the double up ready to rock and roll. Budapest 5 themselves had a lot of success with the double up on their CT side on train. I think GAMERLEGION, this is the first time we've actually seen them pulling it, though. Scoped in, a late shot, but he does get it. It seemed like Corey should have been able to net that kill, but the long-range spray is, of course, incredibly difficult to get the instant headshot on, so he can't quite finish him off. And with that, the advantage goes the way of the CTs.
That's a big frag for GAMERLEGION to find. It splits up this attack and leaves, well, only Flav on his lonesome towards Palace, where he actually desperately needs a headshot here, preferably onto Zero to eliminate this sandwich position before Budapest 5 can actually make any sort of claim onto A. The bomb is actually all out of proportion towards mid. I don't think it's going to be caught in translation, but Flav does pump in with the damage. Budapest 5 find 2 for their troubles, and this is the defense core off balance.
Adam to fall was the crucial kill that they got. Era's looking for more while Rusty's distracted them. So Era's been given a huge chance. Rusty with 3 kills in the back line. Flashy left trying to bring it all together, but he pulls out a nade at the worst possible time. GAMERLEGION will not just take the round, but they'll take it with both their ops alive.
And that's massively impactful. That means that the most costly rifle of them all won't have to be expended once again here in round number 7, where money is actually a bit of an issue for GAMERLEGION. You see that they haven't massively built up that bank just yet. Adam and Mezzi only have $650 between the two of them. The other 3 defenders, yeah, they do have a little more cash, but it's not enough for these back-to-back buys that we always talk about. This is their opportunity to actually gain some cash nonetheless. 90 seconds left. GAMERLEGION really do want a nice convincing round here. That would get them onto 5 here and get that repeat performance where they can buy rifles in consecutive bouts.
Oh, Mezzi, very important shot, but Era's the one who's really been faced off with some trouble. Mezzi even finds another one. The B apartments are being dominated as Mezzi looking for a third flick, but it's the USP that'll need to find the action, and it is getting busy. But Fliav is as well. Mezzi, USP to finish things off just makes it look easy in that round. He's just so confident walking out in the open, and you know what? If you feel confident, you can go over and check out our partners at Hellcase. because they are the biggest and most known case opening website with almost 100 cases, updated case battle, upgraded, dozens of giveaways per month, and more absolutely unique features. You won't get bored with Hellcase. Use the promo codes that we have. I think it's Malta V15. I'm not sure about that. You saw that in the banner though. And save more and grab what you deserve. There you go.
Benito thought it was 2014 with the jumping scout shots tea time. It's not 2014 last time I checked.
Oh dear. Flair will find Zero. Zero to fall. Adam to go in and fall as well, somehow or the other. Not quite sure how, but hey, it is what it is. The instant swing out shot to the head, and it leaves it onto the double ops retake when the smoke is still down. Very fast pace execute, and Corey will not let those ops get any work done.
Yeah, that's a very successful round. Obviously, the rifles don't pose much of a threat on the defense there. As soon as you lose that first man on the A bomb site, if you don't resort to playing a retake tactic on the CT side, you're pretty much down on your luck when you find yourselves in a situation like this, where it's practically impossible to find a 2 versus 5 retake on any map, especially this A bomb site where, yep, the T's, they are going to be burrowed deep into Palace, also into Ramp. They'll be swarming almost everywhere. There's just no chance, and of course the rifle's saved as the response. As I said, GAMERLEGION, they do have the money to go for back-to-back investments in this one. You see the M4A4s come out once again, the double AWP setup, which seems to be that comfort pickup. I really do dig this Mezzi era combination where they're both holstering the snipers, often playing aggressive towards the middle of the map as well. Map control on Mirage is really the go-to play, just trying to control mid, not allow the T's to successfully execute, forcing them to go for these harder angles. A straight execute into ramp perhaps, straight from apps. These harder portions to take than the openness of that middle.
Budapest 5. Adam almost got the perfect timing to catch off the flanker, but now the call has been made. They're not coming in from A main for sure. T-spawn is empty, so focus your efforts on apartments and mid. The B bomb site could be their destination, but that destination can very easily change. A minute left on the clock. Budapest 5, very little utility. They've got plenty of Molotovs, and that could imply the B site hit to come through. But Molotovs are not all you'll need to take over here.
You obviously need the firepower, you need the frags, and once again, you see without any success towards the middle of the map, they've only been able to burrow one in. Rusty actually misses a lot of shots there, and that's a massive problem maker, leaving Era as the last defender towards this curly letter. He's only able to pitch in with one. I don't think there's a single HG on this CT side, so Flashy is still in progress. Nevertheless, the AWP still trying to poke in for that opening frag. If Budapest 5 doesn't get aggressive and doesn't make a mistake, there's every opportunity that, well, this is going to be a save. And that's exactly what happens. I love that passive play as soon as they find those first doublet of frags. And, well, GAMERLEGION, there's nothing they can do about that. Era's very, very fast. He often hits shots. He barely ever misses shots. Tea time, but this time he doesn't get any opportunity with the smokes placed, and it's going to be a 4th round to Budapest 5.
Well, that one flashbang that Dorsey had just seals the deal over there. It's so well placed because sometimes it can be quite hard to flash off Rusty's exact angle where he's watching the window from balcony, and Rusty gets some damage onto 2 players, but he can't get the full spray down onto the players who are jumping out of window. After that, when he's swung out, the players in the back lines, they're just watching for his swing and they kill him, so he doesn't get any kills. Meanwhile, the players who've dropped down window, guess what? You also have a completely blind Mezzi. So that one flashbang, not only does it catch off an awkward angle, it even catches off Mezzi as well. So it's just a really good flashbang that lets him get that round.
Era being challenged once again, and he gets one more than he otherwise probably should have there. That puts Budapest 5 on the back foot. With Adam forced into the open and that flashbang flawless, I'm surprised he hasn't been punished. Corey instantly does go for the swing. That levels things up. Clock down to 80 seconds. There's a lot of time for Budapest 5 to abuse this 3-man defensive setup, but with Rusty in the back lines, I don't know if Budapest 5 have this information right now. Seems like Corey is finally watching for it. Nice off angle with this AK, and almost connects with the shot. Lots of damage, but unable to get the job done. There's a Molotov to create chaos for B5. And the pistol's not connecting. Torsi doesn't see anything right now. And Rusty right over the top misses as well. There's the nade as well. This creates even more chaos. As Torsi down to 28. 1 bullet away from death. Able to find one more. There's still 45 seconds left on this clock. So more time for madness in this one. And with Mezzi in the back lines, I don't know how Torsi gets out of this one alive. He does flick back at the right moment, and what a headshot, Messi! He's absolutely eviscerated. Only 0 versus 2, and he needs to make this happen right now. There's an opportunity for him to actually prevent this bomb from getting onto the A bomb site, especially with no support from Flav. He's coming from the CT spawn. Nevertheless, 0 trying to pitch in, and that's a key kill, gets instantly shut down. What a change of pace. Budapest 5 up to 5.
Over there, the reason why Rusty pushes forward and dies with 1 HP, because I'm sure a lot of people are thinking, why would he do that? The reason why he does that is because they're going for a gamble. They're saying if Rusty dies here, maybe they don't expect the second player to be coming in from behind. Mezzi, however, as the second player, doesn't feel confident moving in because he can't really peek into A main when he doesn't know whether the omp scoped in onto him or not. Meanwhile, at the same time, Zero is also slightly hesitant because Zero is still hovering inside mid because what's going through Zero's head is, well, there's still 40 seconds left on the clock. They could just go back to B, and I don't want to be cut off, or they could just come down into mid, or they could have had one player push through CT already. And there's all these possibilities that are just circling through his head. And because both Mezzi and Zero are suffering from a little bit of hesitation, which is completely understandable, they end up not being in positions to capitalize off of the ultimate weakness that Rusty had created in Budapest 5, and that's just that. So as a result of that, what could and probably should have been a massive round for GAMERLEGION to come back on, it will just not be the case.
And again, that's the change of pace. Budapest 5 seem to be down but never out. And now starting to establish quite a meaty T side. Likely going to be at least 6 rounds here. The Pistols shouldn't be able to get too much done here for the GAMERLEGION boys. Obviously, they do have a bit of a defense posted on this A bomb site with the rotate coming through. There's an opportunity to do some damage with these Deagles, especially with Era being one of them. That Molotov's perfect. And there's the sliding shot, but all of these Pistols only able to really connect with one maximum frag. B5 just able to overpower that defense. Easy 6th.
This is the difference-making round. This is where potentially GAMERLEGION can give themselves a chance to bring it back to 9. But now you get to see the replay of that round. I mean, look at this from Torsi. Finding Rusty is important there. Rusty even got a shot through the wall. Unfortunately, Torsi doesn't go down to that. So just slightly unfortunate. But hey, this is going to be their chance to try and bring things back.
This is the deciding change of pace moment, and Era seems to be the man with the plan to always get the job done. This time, such a consistent star. He's obviously had his Weet-Bix today, T-Time. He's been hitting practically every single shot. And on Mirage, he just hasn't really slowed down much. Another opening. It's a bit of an awkward situation for B5. Yes, they do have this window room control, but with the addition of bench towards mid, I think that this is definitely more of a focus point for GAMERLEGION. So they will be watching towards that side of the map. I don't think Flashy should be able to do all too much damage. And you see that Mezzi's already just focused, pinpoint on this angle. Finally takes his eyes off the prize. And this is where that flank of Flashy does actually start to become a little bit of a problem. See what Rusty can do. He's able to find not just 1, but 2. Still holding the apartments without backtracking. That bomb wants to go elsewhere. And now just utilizing that positional advantage of Flav this time inside the window.
Oh. Flav revealing himself. Yeah, the flower pot is always a lit. You know, that's what really makes me appreciate map makers. That flower pot is actually tactically huge at times. And
You
Zero
like the
will
flower
finish off
pot?
Bandito.
Do you actually like that flower pot?
I appreciate that it changes the mini games that you can play around that angle. That's what I like.
You could go gardening, perhaps, as a mini game.
That's a longer mini game, mate. Do you know how long it takes to grow a damn flower?
No,
It takes
I'm
a
not
week.
much of a agricultural guy.
Horticulturalist. But
Oh, there we go.
but no, it takes a really long time to grow plants. So you know what? That sort of mini game, it's more like Counter-Strike is the mini game I play while I'm waiting for the grass to grow, quite literally.
You know, one of my like go-to presents is to buy somebody a bonsai tree, because I know that it's like a nice, cute present and everything, but they are a difficult beast to take care of. They take a bit of attention.
Well, Budapest 5 needs some attention directed towards them on the B bomb site because they're going for a fast-paced play and they are a beast to take care of as well. And Era is not ready to tame them yet. Rusty will be the next casualty as Messi is the only person to really get a kick in onto this cat.
Nicely done. This nade pitches in for tons of damage onto Corey. He has to be very careful. He's just one bullet away from death by either of these rifles here. And the boost does come through. This grants another level of elevation for Corey. It's not even needed. Here comes the full save from the final three of Gamer Legion. They want to keep the double AK-47 M4 configuration alive. Rusty and Era does have a little bit of bonus cash here. Messi also probably has enough to drop over a rifle. Maybe it'll be a FAMAS, I'm not sure. Depends whether he will gun for utility or not. Also guns on this loss bonus. I don't know if it'll be 1,900? No, a little bit more. I think that was $2,400 right there. Means Messi can actually drop over an M4 and have a little bit left over for utility. This isn't so bad for Gamer Legion going into round number 14.
Well, the problem is that I actually don't know which side I favor for Gamer Legion, T side or CT side, because Budapest 5, I know they're pretty good on both. So, where did this smoke go? The jungle? That's a very cool jungle smoke. No. Oh! Alright. Very interesting. Fleab takes down Arrow early on. Bandito, in the meanwhile, is going to be trying to get onto this bomb site while Flashy is getting a few shots in as well. But he just can't find anyone. Instead, through the smoke he goes, and it will be Adam's demise. A 3 versus 5, and that is such a cool smoke. I'm not sure how it's useful, but it's very cool.
Zero is going to punch in yet another one. And with the retort here, a 3 versus 4, Gamer Legion seem to have spent the majority of their time on this CT half saving. And while they want to carry the rifles through into this 15th once again, they've not been doing all too much with them. Era's slowed down ever so slightly. He's still on 10 frags, so I can't really criticize him at this point. Nevertheless, some of those have been exits. Not as impactful as he was, neither on Nuke or Train being our first map of the day. Obviously, that previous series he played against Apex, where he was able to net massive multi-kills, also an ace. Train wasn't short on flashy plays from the man. As yeah, he is sat towards the top of the scoreboard, but equaling the scoreline is on 3 of his teammates. Also on 10. It's not a massively show-stopping performance as we're used to seeing.
Well, I need to stop the momentum first. The show will go on for a while at least. Rusty with a beautiful shot down after the short jump. Corey will be trying to find him in the back lines, but the smoking window will give him a pathway to move back in. Rusty is naded down, is moving across, will stay alive, but his teammates will not be able to do so. 3 versus 3 and the T's are low, so you've got to be very careful if you're Budapest 5 because they could be pincered in at any point.
This has been a fairly flimsy half, all things considered for Gamer Legion, despite a fairly powerful start. Here it's all sort of fallen apart. Opportunity for a 9th here for B5, considering they, well, are a couple of moments away from the end of this one. Let's see if Mezzi can hold it up. I think he gets a little bit of that preliminary information, but with the rotates not coming through, that's a perfectly timed nade, just like whips. Now he has to hold it down with the M4. That really does suck. The Molotov comes through in the meantime. Should be possible here. Flashy's got to break in the 1 versus 2. And with multiple angles poised, placed, this certainly sucks for him. He wants to isolate these positions with as little time off this clock as possible. And as they close in, there's the smoke down to create a little bit of confusion and chaos. The tap will force Flashy out. He has to go for this spray through, not connecting thus far, keeping a couple of bullets in the AK, but it's not good enough. And well, that's up to 7.
Rusty has such a stylish round in that overall thing. He starts off by jumping from the mid window over the short, and that's already nice. He gets a kill after that. Okay. Then he jumps into ladder room from there, goes back, uses the T-side smoke against them to then proceed backwards across towards the A-bomb site, and then he comes in and finishes things off top of the scoreboard. Now, unfortunately, Era's not been having a great performance, and on the other side, again, we've seen a little bit of a quiet T-sign outside of Fliav. If not for him sitting on 14 and 10, you start to wonder, where would Budapest 5 really be?
So a half as close as it can possibly get, considering this is 7 to 8. Those are those odds just flipping over tea time. We might be going to a third map here, according to Lootbet. Seven, 8. Back to the pistols once again. And with GAMERLEGION setting up for an A take, Budapest 5 playing for the retake. Only Corey towards ticket booth. His main aim here is just to find one initial shot and then backtrack right out of dodge with the flashes through. Corey, well, he's going to fall away after taking a headshot for his troubles. The Glock's trying to get ever so close, but they've taken that one important man to task. With 1 minute 20 on the board, that bomb finally going down and away. B5 do have the retake fully into action, and with Rusty nailing yet another one, this becomes ever so difficult for the USPS's Pedito-Corey combination. Comes in from the CT spawn, and pressure from all sides for the final 2 members. Rusty doesn't connect. Desperately needs to nail a couple of shots here. Mezzi doesn't get the job done. Both the T's fall. That's going to be a retake once again for B5. An all-important swing round in the pistol. Puts them into good stead here. Initially on this CT half. 7 to 9 on the board. And well, this is the perfect start for their CT half. I would expect maybe even a force buy here. Obviously, there's this weird balance in Counter-Strike where if you get the C4 down on that T half, you're able to obviously go for a buy much more readily than before.
It is one of those things, and I think a lot of people have advocated for potentially making it so the terrorists have to buy a C4, which is an interesting thought. I think it's definitely got some merit to it, but let's wait and see whether or not that GAMERLEGION side can make this buy work for themselves, because right now, Fliav has already got an aggressive, continued on his streak of 4 and found the best.
5 once again, a slight advantage here on the defensive. With the smokes going down and away. Ito, that's a nicely timed swing. Only trades 1 for 1 though. Gives GAMERLEGION maybe an opportunity at going for this bomb plant. Nobody's guns inside, knowing it's potentially a fake, and that's tons of damage dealt by Era once more. He loses his teammate in the meantime. He's in a 1 versus 2, and Flav just gets the job done. Up to 10 for B5.
Well, Budapest 5, they're really making Mirage their own map, and we can see why they went for the pick. Their individuals, and one individual in particular as Fliav, is really stunning. Corey has now started to have more of a performance on the CT side as well, so some exciting things to come. The question is always going to be, will Era pick up the AWP? Because so many teams on Mirage have opted to not go for that anymore at this point, so it could still be an Arrow and an AK who can do quite a lot. We know he's good with rifles, but Arrow on the op is a different beast altogether.
Well, this should be a fast slamming for GAMERLEGION as they lose 4 of those players initially. The Molotov just doing the rest. An easy round, all things considered, for B5, and this is definitely set to be a 3rd and final map here. You only have to take 5 more over the top, obviously. GAMERLEGION losing a couple in a row. The quantity of those buys will become far more frequent here with that loss bonus starting to build up. We'll see another buy round in this 19th. 5 lots of AK-47s. Severely deprived of that AWP. I love seeing Era try and open up these bomb sites, and especially towards the middle of the map. You know that he's good with the AK-47, but with Corey out in the open, I just don't think that GAMERLEGION have what it takes to burst this setup. He makes a little bit of noise, but he's doing tons of damage. There's another headshot. Era finally finishes him off. Nevertheless, still a 3 versus 4, and low HP for Era.
Oh, Ara's down. 0 and Adam, they've caught to bring it all together. And the B bomb site is, you know, affording them some real estate at the very least, but real estate is not quite as valuable in Counter-Strike as it is in real life. It probably is because of all the guns being fired. Adam looking to use that small gap in the smoke to his advantage, but for now he'll be content with using a Molotov to keep it at bay. The problem is going to be Zero, as he has given away his position, and they should realize that he's the one with the bomb. So rotations are coming back in to fortify the A site, but Zero's got plenty of time to actually wait for Adam to come in from the other side, come in from jungle, push through, try and find Flashy, because if Flashy goes down, that's when, if you're Torzy starts to get a bit more nervous. However, does Zero actually wait? There's 40 seconds on this clock. Zero, if you peek out right here now, you're going to be going down to Torzi's AWP. He's got to wait for his teammate, and he is doing so, but with this little time, it's always going to be scary, especially when Benito is also on the flank, and Torzi has now turned away at the worst possible time. Zero, he's coming in. He knows where Torzi is, but he doesn't have a chance in that 1v3. GAMERLEGION, unfortunately, Zero giving away his information and his position by running inside T-spawn is what ends up losing them the round.
Yeah, this is starting to look like a massive pressure point for GAMERLEGION. Obviously, they were handed a loss earlier on Nuke, and once again, they're going to eat the tactical timeout as a response. They want to now grind these rounds back up, but I don't know if there's going to be a lot of an opportunity to do so in round number 20. This will likely be a half buy, considering if they do pick up AK-47s, it'll be with a severe deprivation of all of that utility. I just can't imagine them having all too much to work with. And yeah, you see the pistols, a couple of upgraded pistols coming in there. I think a P250 on Mezzi, a couple of MAC-10s as well. This is going to be a fast round for GAMERLEGION as they up the pace into round number 20. Budapest 5 obviously want to hold this one off with everything. This could be a turning point, with either GAMERLEGION getting back into this half or Budapest 5 securing 13, and then they're onto the home straight.
Well, flashbang overhead, Budapest 5 aggressive down mid. Footsteps have been given away, but Fliav is the one who holds the charge, and he has held it down by the horns. This bull's got nowhere to go, but Zero is a small little cows coming from behind. Adam with the MAC-10 ready, getting aggressive through the smoke. He goes. Flashbang is there, but Adam is brought down. Zero will not be able to assist his teammate, but the bomb does go down at the very least. 2 versus 4. Things looking tight, things looking difficult. The P250 and the Tech 9 trying to fight back, and even that is now whittled down to just 0, and he will fall. 12 will turn to 13, and GAMERLEGION, despite the monetary boost that they will get, I don't know if they have what it takes to bring it back at this point.
(13-7). This is where GAMERLEGION now approach crunch time. Pretty much a final buy round here. If they lose this, it'll likely be saving in number 22. And this is a really bad position to be in. We might be going to a map 3 here, tea time. The double AWP setup back into progress. We've been seeing GAMERLEGION throw together double AWPs of their own. And well, this is a fast run and gun strategy once again, but it's falling apart. Torsi, both getting the job done. There's a secondary shot, and GAMERLEGION locked out of this bomb site. 1 minute 30 on the board. Torsi missing by a whisker. But I think the damage has already been done. This is so impossible, but that spray through the smoke might have changed things temporarily. Absolutely not. 14-7. That's perfect from Budapest 5. I am mighty impressed with the CT side.
Well, why wouldn't you be? Budapest 5 so far yet to lose a round on their CT side. It seems like they've just got GAMERLEGION's number, and they're not planning on calling back because GAMERLEGION, they're just waiting by their phone, waiting. Maybe he'll call me. Maybe he'll give me something. Maybe he'll give me something to work with. But no, I'm sorry. That's just not how it works. Budapest 5 just rocking their world, and that's all there is to it. GAMERLEGION going for a timeout, and it might be too little too late at this point. They do have a bye amongst themselves, but again, arrow on the Galil. And although his numbers are looking pretty, you've got to say they're just not translating through. On the other side, you've got Corey, who's now really fragging with the best of them. Badito as well has come into his own. Fliav was there from the very beginning. And with this, you can see Budapest 5 just running away with it.
This is where push comes to shove here. The double AWP setup in full impact, and well, there's the preliminary damage, and Rusty fully gone. How is this orb still alive? Torsi, he's just staying alive like the Bee Gees in the connector. Nevertheless, all of the defenders just congregating towards the middle of the map, now resorting back to B. Is GAMERLEGION trying to make one final pry? I've got to say, this T side is falling on deaf ears right now. 15-7, very likely going to be the scoreline, unless Mezzi can pull together a masterclass. Well, there's a first and second headshot to give him a bit of a chance into this one. Torsi and Badito low on HP. Let's see if Mezzi can isolate these players, but with the bomb dropped in the middle of this bomb site, with Orps watching and waiting for him down, he's going to connect again. Mezzi, what the hell is happening? He's still got a minute left to try and get the job done. Sneaking through to short. He's still got another AWP to deal with, but Flash is actually holding the wrong angle right now. He can stretch back into position, but there's an opportunity for another kill. Mezzi finally gets taken down, and there's 15. Tea time. You've got to lower my blood pressure, man.
Hey, I told you, I'm chill. I'm cool as a cucumber, because I knew it all along. Budapest 5 Mirage, this is their playing field. They're going to come into it. They're going to rock GAMERLEGION out of this game, and they'll move on to Nuke and do the same there. There's a reason why I predicted it, because I know it's not about train, man. It's not about the first map. It's about closing it out. And GAMERLEGION right now, they seem to be very far away from doing that. Budapest 5, on the other hand, they could definitely close out this game right here and now. With the double op ready to go. Duels being taken down in mid. Torsi will not be given anything for free early on, but that might change later into the round, as it is going to be a full mid-control setup leading into an A-site hit from the looks of things.
Yeah, the M4, oh my lord, might have just done it. Puts Rusty 6 feet under. This distinctly sucks for GAMERLEGION. They've had a distinct lack of T-side success thus far today, and Mezzi's been one of the only saving graces of this terrorist side. They've still got the double ops to worry about. They've still got a crossfire in full progress, and Corey's connecting with all the shots. You mentioned him as one of the star players on this Budapest 5 side, and he might have just pushed them over the top. Zero has to be the hero here to keep GAMERLEGION in this second map. Otherwise, well, we're going to a third, a final, a decider, and it's all but confirmed. What a performance for B5.
I mean, this is just typical Budapest 5 territory. T-side is flaky, it's flimsy, it looks like they've got holes in it, and there were definitely places where GAMERLEGION looked incredibly strong going into their CT side. When you switch over to the other side, look man, Budapest 5, it's just their playing field all along. These are fraggers who I will definitely put question marks on the T side of any map, because they can sometimes just kind of lose themselves in the moment, just have it all being taken away from them. But you put them on CT where they have to just go according to the plan. The first 20 seconds are planned out, and after that, it's really all individual. It's easy enough for them.
Yeah, great performance. When I see a map 3, obviously this is an elimination match as well, so it's all to play for. The losers get eliminated from this Group C, which I think is the group of death. It's definitely not a point of embarrassment if you drop out here. You see that other series as well coming into full force on the main channel. This is obviously the series as it stands, 16-12, 16-7, and we go to Nuke as our decider.
Well, time to go to Nuke then. We'll be back in just a bit. Make sure you're tuned in to see what Budapest 5 can do and whether or not they can close it out. Or will there maybe be a backlash from the side of GAMERLEGION? Maybe Arrow gets another ace? Wait and find out. Welcome back. We've got ourselves the third map of a very back and forth series, which in all fairness, all three third map series are technically back and forth, one game won by either team, but hey, that's how it is. This is going to be Malta Vibes, brought to you by Gaming Malta, a home of gaming excellence. And Squid, we've seen GAMERLEGION really struggle in that second map. Will they be able to bring things back on Nuke, you think?
I think it's a bit of a coin flip how they show up on the day. We saw them actually fall flat on the T side of Nuke earlier against Apex. I feel like a broken record stating that out wide. It felt like a similar setting there on Mirage. I actually prefaced that specific map by saying I think it all comes down to how GAMERLEGION perform on their T side. They completely fell apart. They were unable to take, I don't think, any rounds, if not just only one or two, and that's just not good enough in a best of three series. You're always going to three mappers if you're unable to do anything at all on your opponent's pick.
Well, listen, this is going to be what's really the difference maker, whether or not they would have learned from their Apex loss earlier on and whether they can drive it home on Nuke. It's going to be quite difficult. Nuke is actually one of the better maps of Budapest 5 as well, and I'm realistically, again, please do keep in mind that I have not casted them in the past 2 or 3 weeks, but the numbers at the very least are still with me. So 7 wins, 2 losses. Some of the losses they've had have been, to pretty decent Nuke teams as well, if you actually consider it. LDLC is not a team to be ashamed of at all if you lose to them. Same with Dignitas. Some pretty respectable teams in there. So I think I'm feeling pretty confident about my 2-1 prediction coming in for Budapest 5.
Yeah, that seems exceptionally fair. I think that Dignitas is a very reasonable team. Obviously, that loss came just 2 hours ago before this series started. That was the initial best of one. Also played on Nuke. That seemed like a pretty one-sided affair whilst Dignitas actually got into the series. You're looking at the breakdown of this specific best of three right now with Train going GAMERLEGION's way, both teams winning their respective picks in actually pretty decent fashion, I've got to say. Nuke should be that middle of the map pool affair for both of these teams. I think that maybe you've got more insight onto how Budapest 5 play on this specific map, whereas obviously I just casted GAMERLEGION on Nuke. They had just a rough and tumble T side. That has to be a difference maker coming into this. Of course, here in the Malta Vibes, we play knife rounds every single time. That means that GAMERLEGION, there's a good chance that they start on this T side here, and they need to get off fired up incredibly quickly, if that's going to be the case.
The Budapest 5 side have 2 players who I think are going to be incredibly crucial in Badito and Coolio. These 2 players are actually some of their biggest difference makers when it comes to their T side of Nuke, because they're always playing some sort of an interesting role towards lobby. They're always playing some sort of an interesting role towards the outside. And the way they're able to close off certain angles and keep certain areas of the map locked out for CT pushes really limit the kind of aggression you can go for up against this overall team unless you kill them first. So when I look at the idea of, hey, there's a knife round, you don't know which side you're starting on, I think it affects GAMERLEGION a significantly larger amount than it does Budapest 5, because every time I've seen Budapest 5's T side, I've been pleasantly surprised. Now, one person who for some reason everyone in the world has more faith in than I do is Torzi, and I think Torzi's really been an anchor for this team in the sense that he sometimes holds them back. Now, as an operator, he's got a very high ceiling, but also a very low floor. The good thing about Nuke is that it doesn't matter all that much on Nuke, because you don't really need a star opera to be winning out Nuke. It's not like Mirage, Overpass, Train, these maps where a big opera is a big difference maker as well. Yeah, it helps. I'm not going to say it doesn't, but Torzi's performance is significantly less required, and funnily enough, that's actually when he performs the most, when the pressure is less on him. So I think this should be interesting. On the other hand, though, GAMERLEGION, I personally can't wait to see how Zero does on this map. He's been very good across the series, and I think on a map like Nuke is where that veteran spirit really comes in and starts to shine as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree on that specific front. I think an AWPer definitely has some sort of importance on Nuke, definitely less so than a lot of other maps in the pool. Obviously, the knife round on your screen right now, an important one that Budapest 5 are going to take. I say important on Nuke. I think it's probably one of the most important knives that you could possibly play. Obviously, getting onto that CT side first is incredibly influential. and does suck to start on T, especially if you're Gamer Legion with limited results.
Oh yeah, I think Nuke is the second best knife round to win right after Dust 2.
After Dust 2.
Yeah.
Dust 2, my friend. There we go. I had my mic muted. I had to jump back into action for that.
Well, listen. Dust 2, maybe the knife round doesn't matter on what side you'll end up on, but at the very least, there's only one thing that's certain about Dust 2, which is that the knife round is 50-50. After that, it's about spawns, it's about this, it's about that. There's 1,000,001 things that could go here and there. So the knife round is really the only thing where you can have some sort of certainty for either side.
Yeah, I think that is a bit of it's our Counter-Strike coin flip, of course. It's a bit of a difference maker, especially on this map, especially on Train as well, which, if I'm not mistaken, did Budapest 5 start on the CT side of that map as well?
Yeah, they did pretty well on their CT side on Train. Unfortunately, they lost out a couple of crucial rounds, which ended up with them being on a 9-6. Otherwise, that could have actually been an 11-4, if not better. They lost 2-1 versus 3s, because of which the D side was given a lot more space to work around with. Otherwise, we could have actually seen a 12-3 scoreline come through, if not for those 1v3s won by GAMERLEGION. So that's obviously something to keep in mind now as we head into the CT side here. Like I said, I'm not as worried about the T side of Budapest 5, but I think this will be giving us a very good idea of what GAMERLEGION is capable of on this map.
I think they have to get off to a good start. Pistol round would definitely mean a lot for GAMERLEGIon. And, well, this is the pistol. We see the dual Berettas come out. This is an awkward buy for Flashy. Expect him to use them in a couple of close run and gun angles. And look at how close those odds are. I think some of the closest odds I've seen thus far this tournament. And can you blame the bettors? I can't. These teams have been inseparable in the first two maps, taking their own map picks fairly decisively. Now they come into this handshake map of Nuke.
Well, Zera's shaking Fliev's head, and he's shaking it down to nothingness. Budito, in the meanwhile, just waiting to see if they want to push into him. So far, GAMERLEGIon are fine with kicking back and putting their legs up on the coffee table, saying, now what? We got to pick. What do we do now? They're waiting for some CD aggression to come in, which will not be the case. GAMERLEGIon can now descend into the B-bomb side.
Still 60 seconds left and a lot of space to move, utilize, especially with the CT player down. Clock down to 60 and Torzi, that is such a snappy headshot. Rusty didn't even have chance to blink and he is gone. Mira's being quite a nuisance upstairs, but all around this map right now, GAMERLEGIon might even struggle to get this C4 down and away. Budapest 5 not playing the most aggressive stance to try and take this one down here. Budito is still stuck in just no man's land on this A bomb site. And considering GAMERLEGIon, they're losing players left, right, and center. This seems a lot more even than before. Squeaky door open once again, as these pistols trying to chip and chime in. Those dual Berettas are just such a funny, funky threat. That's a lovely nade. Now they need to connect with the headshots. There are a trio of teams to try and hold away this after planted. Messi right down below needs to connect with some more Glock shots. Unable to do so. It's only down to 0. Again, he has to be the hero as that bomb is planted relatively in the open and they can't get to it. Obviously, a kit in hand. He needs to defend it. It's Torsi with the doublet of headshots to finish things off.
Beautiful stuff from Budapest 5 on that retake. I'm not surprised at all to see them off to a great start because these guys know their angles to perfection on this map, Squid. I'm actually very surprised they don't first pick it more often, and really more often than not, the only times we see them play Nuke is on the decider or if the enemy team picks it. Now, with that being said, it's just a pistol round. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. GAMERLEGIon do get themselves a bomb plant, which means that Budapest 5 have got to get some money farmed up with the MP9s right now. Otherwise, when GAMERLEGIon come back with full AKs, it's going to be troubling.
Yeah, you look at the wins that obviously this Budapest 5 side has taken on this specific map. Lyngby Vikings, they've beaten them twice, packed in like 6 overtimes. I probably casted that one. Casted a lot of these really longer matches. LDLC, they lost against them, but Illuminar, Wild, and Honorous. So no massively big scalps. GAMERLEGIon would be a really good name to add to the list. And winning the pistol round is a great way to solidify a nice little buffer. They need to convert here and start to get that money rolling on that CT half, remember.
Oh.
And that's not a good way to start. The Deagle chipping in. Oh, and again.
Messi and Zero, both starting things off very well for them. And like I said before, remember, CT side needs to build a bank here. And if you lose around, that's the opposite of building a bank. That's very much throwing your bank under. Now, Flashy, he is going to do his best big government role play and see if he can bail them out over here. He's pushing forward, trying to find some space, making sure that if they want to go in late into ramp with a potential flank to come in, they will have to deal with him first and foremost. But the CTs, they're getting ready for the push from lobby. There's 20 seconds left. Budito's getting confused, and they hear some bullets being fired. Flashy catches the man with his back turn, finds a kill, and keeps Zero distracted long enough that Zero can't go in with his teammates. Torsi's taking the advantage as it's now back to a 3v2. Flashy will be left hoping that he can maybe get one more kill, while Mezzi just wants to die at this point. But with 5 seconds left on the clock, I'm sorry, Mezzi, that's just not an option.
And this is horrible. He doesn't get the loss bonus. Obviously only saving a Deagle, not even any Kevlar in hand. That's going to be a real shaky moment for the Gamerlegion economy now, as only 4 players will be able to fully buy into this one. I think that Mezzi might even just be stuck on the pistol. I don't think Era... Is Era going to pick up the Deagle instead? If that is the case, I really do hate this. I know that Era is good with the Deagle at the best of times, but I would much prefer him, the star player, to have an AK-47, a primary weapon in hand. I know he's an AWPer as well, so might feel more comfortable, but yeah, this doesn't make much sense to my little squid brain. And while Gamerlegion almost get crushed on the offset, I'd love to see Adam just throw away that AK now.
Oh, Budito's position. Budito's position is perfect. They're not going to realize he's there. They think they've cleared him, but Mezzi fires a few shots just for good measure, and he will catch him off. Fliab in the meanwhile reveals himself, but in the revelation, he finds a kill as well. The grenade to follow through. Torzi with flame underneath his feet. It's brimstone all over the place, and it will be Gamerlegion to more likely than not run away with this one.
Yeah,
Plus, you don't have a buy
together...
for the CTs in the next round.
No, this is a real crushing situation for Budapest 5. Looks like this MP9 wants to pipe in with a little bit of bonus damage here. Obviously, those kills are worth a weight in gold, considering that kill bonus that comes through. But yeah, just saving is certainly the best bet here. Obviously, Flashy can be a bit of a difference maker. I think we might see a technical pause in the next, considering there are only 4 players on B5. And nonetheless, that's a really good round that I was initially critical of from Gamerlegion there. Obviously, the buy was certainly not ideal with that messy situation at the end of the second. Obviously, he survived after time with a Deagle, no body armor. That's not realistically what you want. And well, there's a first round off the back of it. I've got to point out, that's a great round from Adam as well. He got dealt a lot of preliminary damage. He was down to 6 HP. Nonetheless, he's able to find 2 kills there, single-handedly opening this A bomb site. And Budapest 5 get caught out of balance. This will have to be a shaky buy here. You see the utility is far from perfect. Dito doesn't have a single nade to work with. It's not much better for the rest of his squad.
Adam, this time he's just faking out the vent smoke, as it is going to be a faster push towards the outside. Zero's just watching for the flank in case anyone wants to get aggressive on him. However, Flashy, actually, Zero's backed off. So Zero's footsteps will have been heard by the players inside lobby, if I'm not wrong. So if they want to start aggressing, this would be the time to do so, but I guess they're just not planning on it. Flashy's in the ideal position to start moving in towards the lobby, but it will look to be an outside pincer play with a late lobby hit. So with a minute left on the clock, it all comes down to what Torzi can get done in this situation. Torzi, he's just waiting from inside mini, and Fliav is over towards lockers, and he's playing a very defensive angle, so he can't really provide much assistance to Torzi either. They're expecting a late hit towards heaven, and they might just be right about this. Fliav is waiting for the push to come in. Flashy will be going for one of his own. Adam, in the meanwhile, wants to lurk down from lobby, but it's Torsi to take first point. Torsi's waiting for the push in. Great timing on the smoke. They don't feel comfortable moving forward as the terrorist side. And now it's all up to this M4A1S. Not the gun for the moment, but it's a gun he'll be dealt. He gets one. Can he get more in the fadeaway? Not yet, but he keeps himself alive. Adam, good for a kill, but not for more, as Torsi will fall. Corey as well brings it back, a 3v3. And it's all about Fleav in the back lines. Can he find this kill? It doesn't look like it. Zero ducks down to avoid fire. And it's all up to Budito and Corey.
This is a tough, tricky retake once again, especially with the AKs triangulating on this bomb site, and Corey might just decide to bail out once again. He's got the M4 in hand. Not really much more to work with for Budapest 5 in the next. Their money is absolutely in the tumble dryer. It's completely gone tea time. They won't have anything to work with in round number 5. I think the loss bonus as well is going to be pretty flawed. I think only $2,400. And then with that M4 going down, that's going to give them nothing to work with. We'll likely see a full eco this time. This is messier than dropped spaghetti.
That does sound messy, actually.
It is. Try clearing that out of the carpet.
Listen, man, I came in for some Counter-Strike, not for some nightmares, all right? This is...
You need to get the Mr. Muscle out or whatever it is. You know, I don't clean a lot of carpets, so I'm not really good with my detergents and cleaning products. I think that might be a toilet cleaner.
And that's why Squid doesn't have carpets. Now, though, Budapest 5 doesn't have anything too fancy or luxurious either. They've just got the USPs. Good old-fashioned stone floor in those, but... The unfortunate thing about stone floor is there's a reason why it was only powerful in the 1400s. That's because Adam 9130 exists with a Mac 10 Neon Rider to try and ruin their day. 3 quick kills for him, lots of money, and with that, GAMERLEGION get the round in the best possible way.
Pretty obvious conclusion to this 5th, all things considered. B5, it was a full save coming into things. I wouldn't expect that Flashy will even want to keep hold of this Mac 10. He'll want a full rifle in hand next. So just holding outside of this ramp area for the exits. He's got a pretty peculiar angle as well. So maybe an opportunity to take another AK away. But you see the way that GAMERLEGION are just poised here. He'll likely get away with this one. And they'll get away without any further damage being done. I like that he runs into this, knowing that he's just going to throw away the Mac 10 anyway. And, well, no gunfight found. He should get rid of this. Please bin the Mac 10. Oh, no, tea time. They're going to keep it.
Well, it's not the worst thing in the world, in all fairness, especially if you want to start hopping around outside or into lobby with some sort of aggression. And there's also very little utility all across the board anyhow, so saving some money does make some sense. Right now, the pressure is on to Torsi. If you're putting in that much of an investment into him with the AWP, he needs to come alive with a few good kills. And GAMERLEGION, so far, they've been squiggly little worms.
Squiggly little worms.
They are. They're hard to catch, you know? Right now, Corey, a little bit. Corey is going to go down to the Molotov. Fleav and Budito will be getting in some responses in the middle. Budito, however, he's just ready to gun down this Pokemon, but Adam 9130 will fight back. That's why guns didn't exist in the Pokemon universe, guys. That's why.
You've got Pokeballs, healing potions... Revive potion. I don't know. It's been many years since my Pokemon days. I've got to be honest, tea time. I might have dabbled in a little bit of Pokemon Go, but since then, I think my original Pokemon was Gold, and then after that, it would have been Diamond and Pearl. There we go. That's how old I am.
Well, we might be able to find some diamonds here and some pearls because Torsi has been taken down, and Flashy will then be aim punched across. Of course, he didn't buy armor. He was just wielding the AUG to hold a hairline angle, leaving Fleav alone in a 1 versus 3. Turns out when the Pokemons rise, GAMERLEGION wins the round, despite the early advantage. However, I might be a bit too soon on my words. Fleav, what?
Yeah, that's unfortunate. He obviously wants to trade up to the AK-47 though, but not checking his angles, just not expecting him as the outside, plain and simple. Lots of map control taken, and yeah, he wanted that AK-47 for the retake. Plain and simple there. Just not expecting Mezzi. It's 4 for 2 as a result. He makes a bit of a blunder there in the clutch scenario. And well, that's when, if you want to establish yourself as one of the better players on this server, you can't afford to make those mistakes, especially in a third and deciding map.
Well, 1 minute and 30 seconds for this Max 7 to find something and make me happy. Where's Corey playing from? I'm sure we can get a camera angle on him pretty soon. Corey with the Max 7 inside hut, classic position, but you need to have a couple of players move over to you, first and foremost. Budapest 5's half-buy could net them quite a bit of reward. Badito with a beautiful kill right there. Anticipates Rusty swinging out after using the Molotov, and he will find the shot. Lovely stuff on the scout.
And Rusty's had an absolute stinker to start. He's 0 in 5 right now at the start of that T side. GAMERLEGION really want this one. Don't want to allow B5 away back into this first half here. Obviously, just shutting down that economy early is exactly the way to get the job done. Usually, if GAMERLEGION don't have a good start like this, you'll see a very, very bad half. This is where they come into their own, though, where they've got the B5 players backs up against the wall. Another tricky round here, and there's a shoulder shot. Badito is sliding in with tons of damage. There's another one. He's got the opportunity for even more. Look at all of these tags. Tea time. He's hit about 5 shots before the push comes through, and that makes these CZs and Deagles that much more deadly. Era's still on 30 HP. Need to get that bomb, and there's only 10 seconds left. There's the nade on through, and they're just going to sandwich him inside the site. 3 to 4, B5, they somehow do it again.
I know I said you need to keep an eye out for Badito on the T side, but apparently Badito is not exclusive to any sides, and Hellcase is not exclusive to me and you, Squid. Hellcase is for the people. It's for the people who are watching the stream right now. You can use Malta V15 code for Hellcase, and if you're wondering what the hell is Hellcase, why is it for the people? What is the biggest and most known case opening website with almost 100 cases, updated case battle, upgraded, dozens of giveaways per month, and more absolutely unique features, which means you're not going to get bored with it. Use promo codes to save more and grab what you deserve. And GAMERLEGION thinks they deserve another round, but Badito will not let them grab it. Fleav and Badito make short work of the 2 initial entrants. There is 1 player down vent, but it'll be a tricky round for GAMERLEGION.
That was like a plug and a half. That was quite something. Instead,
Thank you.
3 versus 4 scenario. I like it. Flashy able to convert one more time. And this is where you give B5 away back into the CT side. Lots of positional advantage here, especially with Badito in the back. He's going to swing. Rusty cannot connect with a headshot, and we're all even Stevens once again. Wrapped up 4 to 4.
Oh, 4 AKs. All right.
This is a bit of flash. A bit of pizzazz tea time. Bit of pizzazz.
That's always nice to have. They are definitely spicing things up. GAMERLEGION, on the other hand, they've also got 4AK. So, who is the real T side? Stay tuned to find out. That's the real question. Will the real T side please win this round?
I've seen your dress sense, Tea Time. You've got a bit of pizzazz.
Thank you.
That Molotov certainly hasn't.
Well, it's twinkling in the rafters, so I guess technically.
It's like a chandelier.
A little bit. But we don't need any chandeliers here. We've got all the lighting in the world. It's daytime right now. And Mezzi, well, he's getting ready for a quick little A-site hit. If they can funnel their way outside of Squeaky Door. But it's Fleav to find the first kill. Through the door as well. Rusty to fall.
Those angles are so precarious to take on the T side there. You see Rusty trying to go for the Angel, but he's almost inside a choke point at that moment, knowing that the AK-47 has great penetration. I don't think he was expecting to come up against one. Maybe should have been telegraphed, and well, this CT side is punching in all of the damage. 0 down to 16 HP, above 0, and the trades left, right, center galore for Budapest 5. They've got a 1-man advantage. almost converted, but Adam's able to get the job done. And we've seen him do some real work on low HP thus far this map. Torzi's right in the back lines. This is really interesting. Orb in hand and doesn't beat Era to the gun duel.
Well, Badito is left in a 1v2. He's healthy, but his angle is perfect. He's been spotted out, trying to reposition, waiting for the peak to come in. 18 seconds, and the move has to be made by the terrorist. Badito is now waiting for the drop, and Era will come down. Badito flicks, but it's a bit late. He can't finish off the kill. Era peeks out again, and Badito's caught off while he was moving away from the spreading flames. GAMERLEGION will once again find a round where they lose 2 players early on. This is not excusable for Budapest 5.
Era comes into these matches with big 5-liter bags of confidence. He's absolutely pumped up. He seems to go for those picks in those clutch scenarios 100% of the time. You'd think it would make him predictable and that you'd want to take the gun duel and beat him to the punch. Just nobody's fast enough. Era seems to be one of the snappiest AWPers in this tournament, and realistically, on GAMERLEGION gives them a chance to get through to that decider match. Remember, that's coming up next. We've got lots more Counter-Strike to show on both of these broadcasts. Crunch time once more as we get into the meat of this first half. It'll be a bye for both teams. AWPs on either squad. Obviously, Torsi holding it on that Budapest 5 side. Not Flav, who I might have a little silly claiming earlier.
Well, question is, GAMERLEGION, they've not been doing all too badly in rounds where they are down 2 men. Can they do it when they're not? Don't really know how, honestly. I'm still very uncertain, Squid. Hey, it is what it is, and Corey is down 0, has found the advantage, and that means Budapest 5 might just win the round. Now, Era doesn't want that. Era is just getting aggressive towards ramp. Flashy's angle is incredibly strong, though. It's very difficult to deal with this, especially if he can have a teammate walking over. Now, he chucks out a Molotov, and that'll be revealing his position somewhat. But Era's just burning in the flames, and he will go down, but after he gets the kill. So, man advantage is maintained. And the AWP can be picked up by Zero, who himself has only got 4 HP. So, at this point, the CT side, they are stuck in between a rock and a hard place, and they're trying to figure out what to do. I like this boost coming out. Badito will be able to move to the rafters and back to heaven if you want him to. Flayab drops down. Badito and himself are giving them a quick 1-2 punch, and it leaves Torzi left alone in a 1 versus 1. Adam, hoping that he's coming down vents, but really does he realize Mini is where the offer is coming in from, because that's where the peak comes in, but Torzi misses the shot. Adam! How? Dude,
that is
honestly,
a round that if you're Budapest 5, you should never, ever be giving away. You need to hit that shot 7 days of the week, and you see the tactical pause come in tea time. I think that has got to be gutting.
It's GAMERLEGION's pause as well.
Yep. Oh, this GAMERLEGION's pause. Just allowing their opponents to stew a little bit. I love these BM pauses.
In all fairness, I think it also might be the fact that, hey, guys, how do you just lose all your players and almost the last one as well when you have the advantages like that? But yes, some BM in there too, I'm sure. But primarily GAMERLEGION just figuring out their game plan, figuring out the economy of the CT side as well. Adam's probably letting his own blood kind of soothe down. Adam's had a fantastic game so far. He is 11-8. Rusty, a bit unfortunate as far as the numbers go, but Adam is kicking behind for him.
I would say that he's one of the newer names as well. He's only recently attracted my attention. When you look at the stable members in either the Swedish or European scene, it's Rusty, Zero, obviously the just ex-stars who have been on multiple of these sort of mixed squads, even coming into the lower LAN level of play as well, especially Zero. Obviously, you've got a bit of star power there combined with a couple of young guns. Always nice to see that experience being maybe not just mismatched, but allowing these younger stars to grow. I think that's how you get the most out of a newer team, especially if you're an organization like GAMERLEGION. You want to be one of the best in the online scene. I think that anything less than a deep playoffs run here is a little unacceptable for them. I think they'll be kicking themselves kind of hard. Obviously, and this being an elimination match, they've got the group of death, as I've branded it. Obviously, got to get the job done here on Nuke to even stand a chance in this tournament.
30 seconds, and Rusty needs to start bringing out. Oh dear, I was about to say bringing out some frags, but then he flashes himself and dies. All right, that's unfortunate. 4v3, 20 seconds. The teaser on the side, but Fliev is in the back lines. Fliev catches out one of them, but decontamination will give him a bit more space, and that space is used by the CTs, unfortunately, to come in from on top of the rafters and take them all down. Corey swings together 2 rounds for himself, and again, a very odd back and forth is coming all around the place. Not quite sure.
I think realistically, GAMERLEGION have already taken an acceptable number of rounds here. The pressure's on Budapest 5 to actually close this out 9-6. They obviously have to take the next 4 in a row. If they lose another one right here, the bye's going to be at least a little sketchy in the next. Not that they should be losing it against this sort of investment from GAMERLEGION. Rusty only with $1,400. Mezzi not much better. It's really just a trashy economy right now. This really is a bit of a sticking point for GAMERLEGION. Should allow this scoreline to close up once again. You did say earlier on Train that the T side for Budapest 5, but realistically both of these teams seems to be that danger zone for them. I'm a little bit scared for B5, even if this does end 9-6 in their favor. I think even a pistol round there and GAMERLEGION could be right back on track. We saw them take a 10-5 CT half against Apex earlier and losing that series. So such a successful start here on T. Might just be enough to push them over the top here.
We do have a small technical timeout, though. Squid, what do you think needs to change from either team? Because honestly, on both sides, I'm just seeing these rounds where it seems like one team should win and will win, and then the other team just does, again and again. Be it clutches that are being lost, be it advantages that are being lost. It just seems like whoever gets the first kill and maintains that advantage, the other team will win the round.
I agree. I think this has been exceptionally scrappy Counter-Strike since the very start of this series. You see the scoreline, it's reverted at all points. I think we saw 2-2, 4-4, now very likely 6-6 as well, just sticking evens. Remember, this does favor GAMERLEGION, though. As the slightly favored team coming into this one, you'd expect them to scrap that CT economy down and actually do some damage. I was massively disappointed with their performance against Apex earlier. I know they're not the favorites in that specific series, but being 13-5 up, you should realistically be able to close out as of that point. I can hear the chat ticking. I think we might be getting back into the action here. I think tea time, we might be about to watch some Counter-Strike.
I will not jinx it. I think that there's TeamSpeak issues going on, and whenever that happens, obviously, it can go anywhere between a second and 20, 30, 40, 50. But what I'm more curious about right here now is just, again, Budapest 5 and how they'll be performing on their T side, like you mentioned. Because CT has been sloppy. Like, they should be up 8-4 at least by now. But it seems like GAMERLEGION has been given so many opportunities, be it Mezzi with a deagle finding multiple kills and then they just translate through, be it a missed shot from Dorsey in a 1v1, be it multiple lost 1v1s and 1v2s from the Budapest 5 side. It just seems like everything is going their way.
It does seem like that, and obviously they'll be hoping that continues into the second half and beyond this series. Lots of CS to be played, especially that decider match, which the winner of this team will play against the loser of Dignitas Apex. I wonder if that's come to its conclusion yet. No, they're 1-1 in a third map. That'd be Vertigo as well, so really interesting series there as well. Obviously, we pretty much conclude with this group here today. Just blasting through all of the Counter-Strike nice and early. Another couple of opening frags for GAMERLEGION. They're doing the lion's share of the damage here. Flave He obviously has a nice angle, but gets completely collapsed in on by 3 Ts. What I like to call safety in numbers tea time.
Well, Adam, well, there is no safety in numbers for the CT side anymore. BUDAPEST is very much a lone wolf, and he's found Adam, taking him down. AK on the ground can be recovered, but the problem is that the T's have turned tail and run back towards A. BUDAPEST waiting for some sort of a push to come in. The flashbang will be there, forces off the upper. He's taken the chance to get aggressive and up close and personal. Zero might not realize this, but with that jump coming in, BUDAPEST just reveals his position, and Zero will fall. Rusty has the AWP, but he has the ultimate advantage of positioning from heaven. So BUDAPEST, the second he goes for this, it should be Rusty taking a peek out in a couple of seconds, but BUDAPEST sticking it. Rusty doesn't peek. What is this game? He
Pros don't fake, boys.
It.
Pros don't fake. And BUDAPEST, he's the pro of pros in this series, putting Budapest 5 back onto 6. We said this was a must-win round with the advantageous buy here. And Rusty making a key mistake, not peeking in the 1 versus 1. That bomb easily defused. Always a little bit of a touch-and-go situation when you have that AWP in a 1v1 situation. You never know if you should be peeking, if you should just be making the more ballsy play of sticking and holding serve. Instead, he makes a very key error. Back to pistols for GAMERLEGION. An opportunity for B5 to get on to 7.
Oh, BUDAPEST takes down Adam. Corey and Flay have also to come through with early kills, and it seems like the CTs this time are not going to give up their advantage for once. Squid, they actually close out the round.
Yeah, and you sound surprised, and realistically, you should be surprised. They've barely closed out any of these anti-ecos, these force buys. This time, GAMERLEGION, they do have the rifles in hand, though. This is going to be a fairly wholesome buy, all with the exception of Era, who's holding that Galil. Less favorable, of course, especially at longer range as well. I think that these Galils and Famises are, especially as far as the spray is concerned, I just think perhaps players aren't as aware of those patterns. They're also just easily more difficult to control.
Oh, BUDAPEST found one. It's a important kill, but the trade immediately being there means that when the player drops down an event quickly, that's going to be a reset from the T's to move back to lobby, try and take control of ramp, and pincer in onto the ramp itself. So Era, who's been left behind, has to be careful not to die, because if the lobby control is then given up from the T side, this will be incredibly difficult for the ramp players. Flashy, meanwhile, knows he needs to get aggressive because of that player who's gotten down from the vents. Flashy's found one. He's backing off before he does reposition, but now he's waiting for the T's to keep coming in. He's getting greedy. He will actually be able to pull off another kill, and with that drops the bomb as well. Flashy now repositions half the angle, but can't quite get the shot in.
This is where GAMERLEGION have an opportunity to at least level up the scoreline once again. Realistically, they don't even need it, considering how many rounds they've taken already. A great flashbang forces the AWP away, and maybe an advantage now for the T's, as Forzy is forced forward. He needs to take a different avenue of approach, maybe above the action. Clock ticking down. Back onto the B-bomb site for GAMERLEGION, perhaps, as the options are still open, but with very little time on the board. I think Corey is going to try and aggressively swing as soon as he hears that plant come through. Obviously, it's Mezzy with only 20 HP to his name, all out in the open here. He can be sprayed away through this smoke, and there's no conversion. That's some lovely damage. The AWP connects, and Mezzy, he's in a world of pain with only 20 points of health. He needs to connect with both of these headshots right now. It's not going to happen. Budapest 5, that's their 8th. They will win this first half, but I still don't know if that's good enough.
Well, they're in a good place for 9 as well. The bomb plant makes things a bit more tricky, but GAMERLEGION still don't really have enough money to get full utility out, or maybe you get Galil's in full utility. Now, what we've actually seen pretty distinctly lacking from the GAMERLEGION side is really any kind of major outside control power play. So I would really like to see that come through with maybe some Mac 10s. Go for a late mini push, a mini pincer, even if you get some lobby control early in. The problem is, if Budapest 5 realize the economy of Gamer Legion, if I'm not wrong, this should be a play for them to play pretty aggressively for some control for lobby with some early flashes, with some early utility. Now, obviously, you might be arguing, yeah, but do they really want to get aggressive up against what could just be Deagles or 4-spot AKs? You know, that's a fair point. But if you don't get early lobby control on the Gamer Legion side, so far we've actually seen them not being able to get too much done with their rounds on the T side. So I would really like to see that kind of an adjustment, that kind of a play to come out from Budapest.
And there's every opportunity that happens. I think this AAWP is a bit of a change of pace for this defensive half, and we talked about double AWPs on the T side earlier as a bit of a desperation play. I actually like it in round number 15, where it's much lower risk. You obviously don't have to worry about conserving cash into the next. And while they're getting the damage done once again, Mezzi also falls. Good, worthwhile trades, as this half is practically over. It's Era versus the world here. He's going to need another multi-kill if he's going to make the magic happen. An AK in hand, but cannot connect with the headshots. T-time. It's 9-6.
Well, Gamer Legion did go for the mini play. It just didn't work out. Unfortunately, the change of pace not really giving them much to work off of. On the bright side, CT side, 6 rounds on the T side isn't terrible. So, you know, you're looking at a very doable scoreline. Gamer Legion, however. Oh, ooh. All right, odds have swung the way of Budapest 5, and I can see why. So far, honestly, this could have been a 12-3 half, if not for a lot of very weird, very wonky rounds, which just went the way of Gamer Legion, at least at 11-4 for sure. So there is that to keep in mind. Mezzi,
yeah, I would say 9-6 is certainly nothing to brag about. Those 2 pistol headshots certainly are, as Mezzi converts to trio. He's getting all of the damage in right now. As Budapest 5 completely fall in the outside area, the P250 doesn't connect as Mezzi guns for even more, and there's all 4. Only Flash remaining. He's coming in from the back lines here. Potential to see our 3rd ace of the day, and Era this time is able to steal it away. Funnily enough, it was actually Mezzi to steal Era's ace earlier, and now him repaying the favor.
Well, 7th round on the board for Gamer Legion. Beautifully done initially. So my only question is, are we going to see Rusty and Zero come alive on the CT side? Because so far, the rest of these players, you know, Mezzi's just balling out of control. Adam also having an uncharacteristically good performance. Same with Era, pretty good stuff all around. But Rusty and Zero have been quite disappointing so far. I like this from Budapest 5, though. This is the mini train that's coming in. They want to rush down quickly and take control over Secret, but they have to contend with both Mezzi and Era. Era is down. Rusty now with the MP9, aggressive forward, resets his spray, and has Zero come in to save his day, as he will be able to get quite a bit of damage done. And they save the M4 as well, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, Rusty, you mentioned him before. He's he's perennially just been at this sort of tier of the scene. Never really escaped this sort of top 30 to top 60 benchmark. Never had a massive shot on a massive roster, I would say, which is obviously unfortunate. I think the Swedish scene a lot of the time is a bit of a mixed match of players, especially with the re-emergence of NIP, Dignitas, and Fnatic being that deadly trio at the top of that scene. And just
I don't know if I put Dignitas in there, but okay.
I would say that they're like, are they top 3 Sweden?
Oh,
they've got to be top 3 in Sweden.
And Corey fall. We can talk about Sweden later, because right now it's all about Gamer Legion. And they may have 2 Swedes, but they've got 2 terrorists to deal with right now. Flashy trying to jiggle it out, but it's really Era with the wide swing to get the kill. 3v1 and Torzi's tagged. 8 HP left and very, very little hope for this game.
Yeah, this round is over. I barely even want to talk about it. I want to talk about Sweden, though, T-time. Do you think that Dignitas are not top 3 in Sweden?
No, I just think that they're not in the same caliber because they're not very good.
Well, I agree that they're not in the same caliber of a Fnatic, for instance.
By same caliber, I mean they don't deserve to be in the top 30.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't actually think they are in the top 13.
And they won't be.
I think they're like just inside the top 50.
I mean, right now the rankings are a little bit wonky anyway because player break, and I mean, Dignitas hasn't played in a very long time.
Yes.
But I just think that roster has so many holes because every single one of their players was playing on top 10 teams before, yes, but they were playing on top 10 teams before because the younger players made up for their lack of fragging and they contributed as veterans. If you have 4 veterans from whom only, you know, Forrest is a fragger and Get Right has his moments, yes, I mean, I love all of these players, by the way, but the roles just don't make sense.
Yeah, I can't say that I massively agree. I massively disagree with you. Sorry, I can't say that I disagree at all.
No worries. It's all down to Budapest 5 right now, though, because they want to face off against Dignitas later on. Right now, Corey finds the first flash. He's in with another. The Tech 9s are doing damage, and they picked up rifles. So this retake is very touchy.
Yeah, temperamental round here from B5 is, well, they try and just back away from this bomb site. They want to hold it from absolutely afar. Safety in numbers once again is Flashy. Converts this into a 4 versus 2 scenario. Era cannot connect with the AWP. This is a hideous weapon to have in this specific situation. I love that drop from Adam. It surprises at least Torsi, but not the second man. Eliorp has to do it all. The no-scopes whiff and miss. And it's B5 up to 10.
And it's also a very important round where the CTs are reset. Remember, their money wasn't really fantastic. They lost quite a few players in the previous few rounds as well. So Budapest 5, 10-9, with money advantages, and CT's not having a loss rush. So a hard life if you're a fan of the GAMERLEGION side.
Everyone's favorite Call of Duty perk, Hardline Pro.
I have no idea what that is, but hey, that's you do that. Right now, it's all about Flashy getting some money, and everyone else getting some money.
Yeah, an ironically flashy round from B5 as well. They take it to 11 here, 0 being the last hurrah here. Will instantly get eviscerated there. B5, they're doing it again. Coming back on this T side once more. GAMERLEGION's money stuck in the dumpster. They have to go for a buy in this one. It's not going to be the most ideal scenario. They are deprived of a lot of those incendiary grenades. Only Era with 1, and yeah, not a single molly on any of the other 4 players. Those HEs can be very easily used towards the A site, outside, breaking those squeaky doors down on B and retakes. They've got an additional layer of versatility here on Nuke, but you see, thrown right into Hut to prevent any sort of rush. That's pretty much just a guarantee. You know that you have to expend quite a bit of utility in the first couple of seconds just on this A bomb site defense, and well, here comes the push.
Well, Fleav has already found one. Mezzy at a full. Rusty will be hoping to come in from the side and deny this bomb from being planted, but Rusty is slow to the party, and Dorsey will welcome him with a quick death of his own. Flashy left in a 1v2 with the bomb being planted is nice, but this was a round which was supposed to be a freebie, and that is not coming in. After the bomb was going down, I thought, hey, Budapest 5, they've got this unlocking key. Dorsey will take down Rusty. It's going to be easy enough, but no. Dorsey just didn't have the correct angle.
No, it just doesn't happen, and Rusty seems to just be that consistent player who's a lot of the time going to hit those end-of-the-game shots. He's been underperforming thus far, 6-16. That's unfortunate. I think a lot of pressure comes upon Rusty's shoulders on the T side, and on a map like Nuke, sometimes your entry fraggers might just fall very flat. They had a decent round count to finish things off, so I really can't criticize him too much, albeit he does have to step up now in the defensive half, and he's doing so. 2 quick kills right there. He was pretty much null and void on the scoreboard before that. B5, they'll come in with another swing here in round number 22. Fairly wholesome investment. They've got all of the utility they could even dream about, all of the Molotovs to go for this swing onto the potential A bomb site take. They're not playing these from outside, though, so I think that these mollies are actually going to be most utilized for an after plant. It's quite difficult to throw them from this squeaky door position.
significantly more slowed down round early on. Flashy's got an impatient, and with that, he's into the door. Corey into Zero's head, and Mezzi behind the batteries, hoping for a peek to come in, but he can't find the kill. It's Torzi instead to eliminate him. The AWP is stuck and going through a Molotov. Era takes him damage. Adam takes his life away, as it will just be everyone collapsing on the CT side. GAMERLEGION not ready for the fast-paced, squeaky play a minute into it.
Absolutely not. If Budapest try and do that in the first 20 seconds of the round, they get meted by a hail of utility. All of the nades, all of the Molotovs. Obviously, GAMERLEGION with limited bank expended many of those nades in the opening couple of seconds. Budapest 5 know this. They play a slower stratagem here in round number 22, and it works out perfectly. Here now being collapsed into the CT spawn. That's a good pair of flashes just to force them into more passive positions, and they're going to peek this together, easily taking that AWP out of the equation. That is massive here. People picking up on the fact that I credited Rusty as a consistent player when he's got 6 kills. Thanks for that.
I mean, you know, if you've listened to the full sentence, because I was initially going, what the hell is he saying as well? But if you listen to the full sentence, what he said was he's consistent in those end of the game moments. And unfortunately, he hasn't had a very good game so far. So, you know what, guys? Listen to the entire bloody sentence before you get outraged, because I'll be honest, I was pretty outraged when I heard that. I was just thinking, Squid?
I know you as well, T-Time. You definitely would pick me up on something like that as well. I do respect that as well. You've got to say it as it is.
I've got to say it as Era is, because he's gone in with 1, but not 2. Needed to do a little bit more, and with that, the CTs are overrun.
He is such a dangerous player. You just see with the AWP right there that there's never an opportunity where he finds, without a collateral, albeit more than 2 frags. He has to get exceptionally lucky. And, well, Rusty, speak his name, and he shall appear, puts us back into a 2 versus 2 scenario. This is where GAMERLEGION's positions become important. Moving up through Secret, maybe throws a bit of confusion into the mix, but with that secondary deagle falling, Adam securing an AK, there is no kit in play, so he has to hurry up and hightail his way inside this bomb site. And well, he does know where Flavor's playing from. This is a good angle to be posted, but Flavor's just a little too quick on the trigger. There's 13.
I think there might be some frustration going on in the Budapest 5 camp. At this point, they seem to be shooting down every single dead corpse that they actually get in the end of the round.
I think they're feeling great. I reckon right now they're firing on all cylinders. They're pumped up. They're shouting in the Discord or the TeamSpeak, wherever they're talking. And, well, 13-10, that's the result.
Well, look, at the end of the day, what I'm happy about is that Badito is fragging out. Oh my god! That's a lot of action coming in on the outside.
Replay of that. Can we get a slow-mo replay with a little timer?
I mean, I don't think it's possible, considering we didn't catch it on the stream, but hey.
I just want to see the kill feed. Look how fast that kill feed was. That is, I think, the fastest full lot of frags that you'll ever see.
Or never see in this case. But hey, it's all good. These things happen. 14-10. GAMERLEGION. Probably just happy to be in the next round, really.
Yeah, you want to get that one out of the way. Back with the rifles. Remember, this is not an ideal buy. You look at the utility once again. We've been keeping tabs on those nades. GAMERLEGION very deprived of those Molotovs. And, well, with the only mollies being thrown out early towards the 8 bomb site, there goes one of the smokes as well. This means GAMERLEGION are just deprived of that all-important util when it comes to crunch point in this round. And I like this. They're forced to get aggressive. I think that B5 are actually watching these angles nonetheless. They're playing a slow setup to force out these issues. And Corey might make the first mistake. He doesn't. Lots of noise made and, well, no contest.
Corey, at this stage, is setting up for a what looks like a later on outside hit, or at least an outside fake, but could very well just be a late secret descent combined with a ramp power play. And it looks like that should be what it is. Flea heading down secret. Adam 9130 has his angles checked, and although he finds a kill, That's just not enough. Meanwhile, a player down secret already will be ready to lock down rotation from Vent. Mezzi needs to be able to find that kill. Fliav, the second he shows himself, if Mezzi doesn't get that kill, they've got no chance for a retake. And it all comes down to that one. Mezzi has the doors opened on him, but he's good for one. Then he's traded away. The CTs are coming back into this, though, as it could still be an equalizer. However, Rusty's the one to bring it back to a 2v1. Torzi left alone to face off against Rusty and Zero. Can he get the job done? Fakes out opening the doors, peeks out for one, and he's got a hole in it. And that will be all she wrote. 15-10. Beautiful stuff coming out.
That is sensational. That 1 versus 2 might have just put Budapest 5 into this decider match coming up. That is absolutely fundamentally flawless. We'll watch that again. So many trades back and forth. This replay probably going to be a mile long right now with so many trades. All left, right, and center. But this was the play to get the job done. Torsi, a splendid 2K. And while that puts B5 onto 15. This is a broken bye tea time. GAMERLEGION, this is chaos. They've got the XM, MP9. They've gone to the car boot sale. And they've picked up just a ragtag couple of antiques.
Era finding Badito at least early on. Maybe about to give some of that scout action back to them. We did, of course, see Badito being able to clutch one out with, I believe it was 4 scout tags and 2 kills, so nothing is to say that GAMERLEGION can't do the same, but Budapest 5, they're just ready and waiting. Hey, get aggressive on us. I dare you. I double dare you. But Flashy, when he smoked off on the squeaky doors, gets a little bit wiser about it. 55 seconds on the clock. Outside smokes come through as well. GAMERLEGION, this could work out in their favor. Rusty coming in, he's got a deagle as well. Finishes off what Zero started. Mezzi with the MP9 is brought down. A 3v3 with Era chiming in, taking down Torsi and Flashy. So suddenly Budapest 5, caught in between a rock and a hard place for this round at least, will have Fliav turning tail and running back towards the B bomb side to try and attempt this 1v3.
Really good performance from GAMERLEGION. They should be able to put it back to a 15-11 scoreline, and Rusty is just going to secure that. He's gaining multi-kills left, right, and center. He's went from 2 measly frags just earlier to 11 in quite quick succession as well. 15-11 on the board. GAMERLEGION need the next 4, and this is where Budapest 5's mentality, their closing, will be contested. It will be challenged here at the end of Nuke. This is where the pressure is firmly applied. I think out of these 4 final rounds, either 2 or 3 of them will be buy rounds. I think it'll be 2 buys, 1 force, and 1 eco. So this definitely isn't just a rollover here for them, but still an opportunity to get the job done. They have to challenge Rusty, who is the first defender here on A. Gets taken clean away. Corey gets the job done on the defense, and Zero, a double spray down to put it back in contention. He's running out of bullets, but there's a headshot just in the nick of time. He's got 18 points of health, and with Budapest 5 taking their foot off the gas, Mezzi is stuck in no man's land, and Zero finally gone. A 1 versus 2 to keep GAMERLEGION not just in this round, but in this tournament. They'll be shut away in Group C in successive matches in the elimination bracket. Mezzi needs to get the job done here. Oh, might have spotted out that gun barrel though. Knows exactly where the ult's playing from. There's the first peek, comes through, and